Welcome to WCG VR Championship. The game is Final Assault. It is going to be the first one here. It's a great game. My name is G Clef, and with me, it's going to be Ending Life. How are you doing?
I'm feeling good today. It is a little bit early today in the morning. We are in South Korea right now. But yeah, other than being up a little bit early in the morning, everything else looks fine right now. I'm so excited to be casting this VR competition for esports. To be honest, it is my first VR cast, so I'm very excited. How about you?
That is for me too. But I have been trying VR since years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Trying a lot of fun games, and this one called Final Assault, we got the honor to play the game just a week ago and a few times more. And it's a great game. It's so fun. And for you guys to understand how this matches will go, we'll go ahead and give you guys the overview here.
All right, so today we have NA. So we're gonna see 4 players from NA today, and tonight, well, I'm going by Korean time, so you guys can see the time on your screens. But for us, at least, who are actually in Korea, we have NA first, and then EU today, and then tomorrow we have APAC, which are 2 players from Korea, 2 players from Australia. And you guys can see the rules. It's double elimination, 4 players, best out of 3. These are the maps that will be played.
And a single game. So if you play one game really well, if you understand the map, if you win, you can advance to the next round. Winners, losers. That's how we're gonna go, and we will explain it to you a little better as we go through all the match formats. Maps are actually going to be the key in terms of strategy, because there are lots of paths that really doesn't have the troops spawning all the time.
Yeah.
But you can actually just send one in secret and then try to take the tower down in that way. That's why we have all the maps. Semifinals, Shatu Todd and Kopelmine for winners losers match. Hill 5-1-2 losers final. And when we actually go to the finals, it is going to be Wellenberg and then Stronghold if we have a set 2 for finals.
Oh yeah, exactly. So exactly as you see on your maps, 1 games each until we get to the finals. Finals will be best out of 3. So, and as you just saw, the maps are decided. It's not like, other games where, when we have multiple maps, we choose or we ban maps or whatever. We don't have that. We have the maps set. The players know that. They have been practicing the indicated maps here for the indicated rounds. So we'll see how much that they have prepared for this tournament today.
And it's a really great game, as there are lots of strategies, and of course by characters, either you choose US or Germany too, and you can actually focus on what you want to do if you want to try on air, which requires a lot of small micro. All the airplanes, you need to loop them oftentimes, or even actually time it so that they actually attack the ground at the time. Sometimes they just keep on flying. They don't even attack if you do not micro them well.
Exactly, as he said, this is an RTS game, so we are going to be referring to the terms from the old school RTS, micro, macro, to see how these players kind of what kind of play styles they have. Some people might just go with macro, just a lot of units just going all lanes, and some people, like he said, microing like crazy, going air units, being specific on what they exactly want to do.
Yep, and if you're not really confident with the micro, you can just straight up look at the lane, left or right, choose one, just drop one on the lane, and then you will see the arrows going straight forward. Then it will just automatically go straight with the troops until you reach the tower or they get destroyed in the middle. So if you're not really feeling confident about the micro, you can just choose. You can go in terms of strategy. Okay, I want to send this one first. You just pick one up. Next one, this one, this one. It's actually really, really cool. What you're seeing on the screen doesn't really capture the entire VR experience, of course, because we need VR. But we're going to have the table here. Let's see. All the players from NA. Pretty neat. Reality check. The 8-bit ninja. Sadly, it's Bradley.
Yeah, so we do have the players here on your screens for you guys. And as we were talking a little bit, about the overview as well, each regions, we, like we said, we have NA right now, EU later, and then APAC tomorrow. But so we have 3 regions. 2 players from each region will be going to China for the grand finals.
To Xi'an for WCG finals in July. And of course also plus China also gets 2 more, so total 8 players will be playing in July. This is the qualifiers. And the 2 players, what you see on the left side of the screen, 2 out of the 4 will be going to that July WCG finals. So they gotta win. And I think I'm pretty excited to see what they have brought, because you can actually choose one and choose all the air, just send all the air, or send all the troops only. And depending on the map, I believe they have done some practice, of course. And following with that, what they focus on, I think we're about to see. And what I really want to question is how good these players are actually going to play, because it can be really, really hard in terms of what you can do in VR.
Exactly. You know, VR, as you guys know, it's not keyboard and mouse. You have to use your hands. You have to use your the whatchamacallit, the remotes that you hold in your hands, and it's literally your body doing the work instead of your fingers and your on your keyboard and your mouse, and your reaction time. It's all different. And I think it's enough about the overview, the game. For me,
how was your experience with
so
it?
when
though?
I was practicing this game and I was learning this game, I tried all of the characters. I tried all the maps that will be played today, and I came to a conclusion. I like German armored.
Oh
as
yes,
the characters
with the heavy tank.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
That is my like. But the thing is, when I play that character, all the airs, I went up against the air units, and it is annoying. So. This triangle of who beats what beats what, like it goes in circles. So I think depending on what these players favor in terms of characters might also have a different outcome for the matches today.
Yeah, that's right. You got to select one, and before it's really hard. You have to practice one, and like I said before, how VR works, it's not like it's just, you can certainly just drop one. It can be easy, but when you go down to the details, it can be really, really tough, really, really hard if you want to be perfect, if you want to be at the pro level. So I'm wondering if these all players will be microing every single unit on the map going left and right. That can be possible, but that can be really hard though.
Yeah. So we're going to have to see how these players decide to play. Seems like we are in the game.
All right, we are ready for the first game.
All right. On your left, we have Pretty Neat VR. On your right, Reality Check VR. So we're gonna just refer to them as Pretty Neat and Reality Check, I guess. We don't have to add the VR.
Yeah, at the beginning, you don't really get too much money to deploy everything. What you see on the bottom of the screen is what is on the map, what's going. It's more about spacing, how much space you actually control. We already see some artilleries firing a few shots to clear all the pressure from the lanes.
So it seems like on our left we have German infantry, and on our right we have German Luftwaffe. So German Luftwaffe is basically an air division for the Germany, and German infantry on your left is obviously infantry. So we'll see what we will get here.
Luftwaffe cannot see the bottom right side of the screen. Those are the list of units you can actually get. And before you get the later ones that are divided by section, you have to unlock with money. And that can cost a lot. So at the beginning, if you just choose to unlock, you might be pressured to defend really hard because you're losing that amount of money.
Exactly. So on our right, we do have the infantry actually pushing out Pretty Neat right now. But like you said, these regularly spawned units, it can make a difference if you put down like a troop truck infantry or something like that to kind of get the extra oomph. But if that's not the case, we will have them basically even out. So we do have the overview, and we can actually see where the players are located in their VR. You can see their heads, you can see their hands.
All those Hummels right now pressuring the lane. The range of that gigantic tank is actually huge. It's really hard. So you got to bring in some airplanes to destroy all that. The fighter BF-109, what you see on the screen as they're chasing each other. And you can actually draw it back to the base, and base oftentimes will kill that airplane too.
Exactly. So right now we basically have the players focusing in the middle, the one lane that we have on this map. So they want to get control. right now we did see that artillery come out on the side of reality check. So if that artillery isn't killed, it might have been. Oh no, it's still alive on the left of your screen. If you see, that is gonna cause huge problems for Pretty Neat if that doesn't get destroyed.
So a lot of air units, and Hummel's really going for reality check. I see a lot higher numbers, and also great amount of spacing. How these tanks are just located in the high ground, making sure they do some damage to the regular troops that just spawns over and over again. That's why you gotta bring all the planes. And as you can see, the players' hands on the screen, that's where they're actually focusing at the moment.
All right, so it seems like right now a stalemate, but it seems like, is that, yeah, it is. Pretty Neat has dropped down, whatchamacallit, the mortar troop. So we do see the mortar troop coming out here, or actually no, sorry, that is the bazooka troops. So we do have the bazooka troops spawning on the side of Pretty Neat. So that is going to slowly push out reality check's foot soldiers.
Yep. All the cheaper units like the Panzer, big tanks, are the cheaper ones. You can actually get those ones easier. But once we go to late game, that's when all things matter. If you just get one big plane, you can push all the troops together, and you can basically two-shot the tanks.
All right, here we go. Reality check has pushed up all the way up the hill.
No movement.
Oh, we have the heavy tank just ramming in, but he did that to protect the artillery that's on top of the hill right now. So that is actually a suicide mission for that heavy tank, but mission successful.
Yep, and they can both push for a little more. It seems like reality check is really having great control of the space here, keeping the pressure. And this is the lane where they must push. You can actually have some tanks going to the other side and look for those reinforcements, getting you all the money, but seems like it's not coming in time yet. And that's the time you actually spend all the money together. As you can see some micros happening on the other side.
Alright, here we go. Now we can see the red arrow. So basically this is what G. Cliff was talking about before we got in. We see the arrows, these players, they can rally the units to go there. And fortunately for this game, unlike other RTS games, we don't have to attack and then click for it to attack. It automatically attacks. It is very comfortable in that sense, and that artillery just got rid of that heavy tank.
Yeah, but sometimes if you just let it sit, it will actually do nothing. It depends on the range. If you understand the range, there we go. There's a reinforcement. Oh, Pretty Neat picking that up. Already having one there with the motorcycle. Nicely done. So we'll have all the time to get extra money. So that's why and the moment after that is going to be a gigantic push. But what reality actually already has is a nice setup in all around. This is the left side of the map, and then the other side, of course, from the blue side. The other side, he's got a good control. So no real big damage going into the towers. Seems like we are going to take some time to pressure into the first ones.
All right. So right now, in terms of units, we do see a lot of artillery. We do see a lot of heavy tanks coming from reality. And from Pretty Neat, we do have the troop trucks put down, as you see 4 of them put down right now on the side of Pretty Neat. So basically, Pretty Neat is going for the macro. He is trying to, kind of overwhelm reality check with just a massive unit.
Oh, damage chipping into the base side. You can bring the tanks, you can dodge the shots with the micro, but you can only focus on so many at the same time. And on the left side, the pressure is coming at the same time. So Pretty Neat right now in a bit of a trouble.
Yeah, not a bit. I think a lot of trouble, because Pretty Neat had the upper hand because he had the vantage point. He had the upper hill on his base. It's reality check who has to come up the hill, which is a little bit harder in sense of placing artilleries. So right now, Pretty Neat, even with the slight advantage of terrain, he is still getting pushed back by reality check.
Yeah, this is the place where reality check really wanted to have focus to break through. Now he's got 2 pressuring all the way into the towers now, and that's going to be in range. So Pretty Neat has a lot of few options, but bringing planes would be an okay option to actually get those tanks out. But you need a lot of focus to control those.
Right. Well, right now we do have Pretty Neat, like you say, kind of pushing back. He did have that upper terrain advantage. But we do see some of the planes getting rid of those nuisance artilleries here. You do see that Reality Check's airplane. He is more towards the aircraft side in terms of units. So we'll see if Reality Check is able to kind of focus on the artilleries that are uphill to get rid of Pretty Neat's annoying tanks on top of the hill.
Yeah, we have a lot of those motorcycles just set up to get those reinforcements, and you just want them to just be sitting there because
where's
you
that
can't
anti-air going?
control everything at the same time.
Yeah, we just saw Pretty Neat's anti-air just run through the troops. I think that might have been a misclick.
And sometimes you do want to send all of them together, but if you just let them sit on lane, it will automatically attack. But if you micro it where you want it to go, then sometimes it just moves without attacking. So those kind of moves, the micro, you have to really control well. If you lose one, of course, you are just spilling money on the ground.
I don't like spilling money. That's bad.
Of course.
They must have a lot of money. But yeah, we do see how they're managing their money, how they're managing their units at the bottom side. Like I said, right now, Reality Check, just by looking at the money, he definitely has a lot more units. But all the way on the left, the four, you see the dividends. The 4 units all the way on the left are the basic units that everybody has. Ooh. And Reality Check has a lot of the basic units right now.
And all the tank tigers, the big tanks are coming, but Pretty Neat lost all the front towers. It's actually a 4-0 right now, and Reality Check slowly moving with that range. Hitting one by one. I think he is very likely to take this game, of course, but there are lots of defense set up from the side of Pretty Neat here. So it will take some time. Bazookas keep on coming. So they're removing the pressure onto the lane at least. But what's happening onto the other side? See the blue side units coming into the base. He's trying to finish the game now.
All right, there we go. We have the flank right now. Like you said, the flank is coming. We have the troops in the front. We have the tanks on the side. They are trying to flank into the base, and they will die because, the basic base defense is pretty strong. But right now, like you said, they're already in. They're already doing the damage.
Yes, even the lane pressure is onto the troops now. Bazooka's going down. Some damage from the tanks. Look at the amount of pressure here.
Oh my God, look at the units.
There are defense set up, so it's actually, I don't think it's going to be game over right now, but the next setup wave coming in from Reality Check. See how on the other side of the screen already setting up all the tanks. It's going to be in trouble.
We have
but good mark.
Trying to get rid of the artillery. Unfortunately, it's not going to work. And we do have the air support for that one artillery that stayed alive. But look at the troops. We have 91 on the bottom right. We have 13 on the bottom left. You can tell that Pretty Neat is getting overwhelmed by Reality Check.
Once you get pushed by the artillery range, it's really, really hard to come back. That's why we actually said you need great amount of micro focus with the air units. Seems like Pretty Neat is pushed all the way back, and when he's going for that range, there was that big one final bomb. So I think that basically seals it for the next set of tanks for Reality Check to go in and destroy the base.
All right, now we have the heavy tanks for backup. Now artillery just set up in the back. We have the troops and the heavy tanks going through. All of the defensive towers for Pretty Neat are down, as you guys can see right under his health bar. It's all X'd out, 4 towers down. Now his main base HP is just going down.
It is going to go down a little more with all the troops, infantry set up all the way around. Pretty Neat's got to defend left and right, so it's a lot of pressure. All the tanks are coming, even the plane just going straight into the base. This is how bad the situation is for Pretty Neat right now.
All right, it's very unfortunate, but...
See, the health bar is going down. I think this is it. That's game over. We have the first winner here. It is going to be Pretty Neat VR. No, Reality Check VR.
Okay, so we do have our first winner. He will be moving on to the next round.
Let's see the money earned and money wasted. So not crazy amount of changes or differences in between the two, but how Reality Check actually controlled the space with the artillery. I think those were the start of how the game was actually tilting towards his side.
Yep, we do have all the top developed units as well. We do see the mostly for tank and obviously for Reality Check, as we said. He was a little bit focused on the air units to get rid of Pretty Neat's artillery and tanks first, which gave him the advantage to take the great spots for the artillery to be stationed to get rid of Pretty Neat's infantry.
I think here Reality had a little better understanding of all the range of artillery. The reason why we're talking about artillery forever is because they're really strong and their range is insane. It's slow enough so that if you can actually see the range of artillery when it's coming, you can actually move your own tank and not get hit because it's slow enough for you to actually, okay, attack is coming, I can just move this to just 10 meters on the left or the right, and it will actually not receive any damage. But those kind of micro, when you have a lot of units, like 10 units plus on the ground, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. That's why you just gotta send one artillery, and then make it sit. It just does its job all the time.
Exactly. So right now, just recapping this game. In the beginning, they were going pretty similarly, and we had Pretty Neat kind of taking the upper hill with the artillery, but we had great retaliation from Reality Check with the air units. However, from mid to late game, we saw the basic troop truck units, I think 6 to 7 placed down by Reality Check, which gave him the extra units that he needed. Like I said, we saw like 90 troops coming from Reality Check when we saw like 30 to 40 from the opposing team. And that just already just pressuring him to get rid of those, a bundle of units just coming up your hill.
It was a lot of pressure, but those bazookas, it can actually get all the lane troops easily, but what really takes all the area damage is the artillery once again. But on the other side, we had a lot of focus in the camera angle showing the lane where we actually have the automatic spawn all the time. But on the other side, I think that's where the real action started. I saw a lot of airplanes going through, trying to get all the tanks from, especially from Reality side. Pretty Neat, I think maybe was the one that started the fight onto the other side, really trying to pressure because there's that X mark in the middle. Having that ground will get you money, of course. That's how you win more money, more troops, more pressure. And I think that was a start, which we didn't get to see 100%, but you can kind of see how fun this game actually is now.
Yeah, exactly. And we did get to see the up close the actions that they were putting out for us. But when you sometimes when the observers show us that overview of where the players place their units, the way they control their air units, what kind of troops that they're pumping out from their base, we obviously saw the difference on both sides. We saw a little bit more heavy tanks and artillery from Pretty Neat. We saw a lot of basic troop units early on for Reality Check, which gave him that extra pressure and extra time to save up the money.
Yep, and later on we're gonna have different maps, and I think this is one of the easier maps, I would say, because you don't really need to. It's smaller, I would say, compared to the other maps, and also you can. There are less lanes to control and worry about from. You can build one single pressure, but when it comes to 2-lane pressure, when there's troops spawning onto both lanes and a lot more pressure, so you need to think about a lot more, and the maps are bigger, you need to think about a lot more troops, where you place them all the time. And you can kind of follow along with us and see how much difference the maps will actually make later on.
Yeah, so we saw the map, this first map, Chateau. We just have one main lane in the middle. It's kind of squiggly, but still, one of the main lane is just one lane. There's no 2 lane. There's even maps with 3 lanes. But yeah, having that pressure, focusing on that one lane. But we did see at the end, nearly at the end of the game, where Pretty Neat was flanking because there are other routes to get to your enemy base. But it's not the main lane where troops spawn. So we did see the usage of the flank and the side lanes as well. Not as much because they wanted to pressure that main lane. But as we go through other maps, different kinds of maps, we will definitely see when one player is focusing on one lane, the other players can defend that or counter into the other lane.
Yeah, that's totally true. So there are a lot of strategy that you can build on, and the placements, as what we saw from game number 1. I think we can see similar type of plays coming out, but having the first setups with artillery, I think that's a really good start. But if you end up wasting too much money, if you just waste one artillery for free, it can build you the pressure from the other side. I think we're getting ready to go into the second match, and it's going to be the 8-bit Ninja versus SadlyItsBradley. I think we are just about ready to get into the game very soon. The winner, of course, goes to the winners round, and loser, of course, they're not dropped out. It's a single game, but we have a double elimination format where the losers go against each other and the winners go against each other once again.
All right.
We are ready for the second game of WCG VR Championship Final Assault. It is the NA North American side.
We do have this time the U.S. Infantry Simmons Division going up against the German Infantry Gallons Division. So on your left, we have on red, we have Germany, and on right, in the blue, we have the U.S. Infantry. So it's Ally versus Axis.
And bringing those, so in terms of the unit, you can kind of tell it's very similar, just different name. It just looks different oftentimes. Like the motorcycle is going to be the Jeep from the US side and the motorcycle from the Germans. And both, of course, having the artillery can work as the same. The tank with a really long nose, that's basically the artillery here. Already having a setup right at the center.
Yeah. So right now we have 8-bit with the tank and the artillery in the middle, but we do see SadlyItsBradley. He already has 2 troop trucks down instead, whereas 8-bits have 3 aircrafts and 2 tanks, 2 artillery and the heavy tanks going up in the middle already.
Okay, I think 8-bit Ninja here brought a strategy. If you control the air, once you control the air, it can be really painful from the opponent. I think that's the reason why he brought those cheap planes from the start. But anti-air can be a pain. Let's see if SadlyItsBradley brings out few anti-air, because anti-airs are not that cheap.
Yeah, it takes you have to unlock the first set of units to use the anti-air. You don't have the anti-air in your basic units that you start with. But like you said, 8-bits, 4 air units right now, the cheap units. When I saw that reminds me of mosquitoes. You know, they just make those ringing sounds, and they're just in the air being annoying. But we'll see how SadlyItsBradley deals with those.
Personally, I couldn't even control more than 3. So having 4 planes, see how it's looping around? You can loop around and make it attack. If you don't put it onto the road, close enough to the road, it will just loop around and not attack. So let's see how 8-bit Ninja, how well he controls the air, because he's got a lot of chances. And look at that. SadlyItsBradley not really thinking about the air pressure at all.
Okay, so right now 8-bit's bazooka unit is already... Oh, sorry, the other way around. SadlyItsBradley is already attacking the tower of 8-bits right now.
And Bradley did take some damage. And Ninja, let's see what he's focusing on. I think he's waiting. He's actually spilling some money here.
Yeah, that as well. And it seems like right now on our observer mode, unfortunately, this may be a glitch. I might be wrong, but I don't see any foot soldiers, where we should have 32 on the side of SadlyItsBradley and 18 on the side of 8-bits. But yeah, it seems like the action is going on. We did see SadlyItsBradley pushing through all the way to 8-bits' tower.
Did some damage. Not too much, only about 20%-ish, I would say. But he's got all the airplanes set up already, so...
Look at all of those airplanes.
It's going to have some pressure, slowly taking the damage, and over time, it will stack. And later on, when we go unlock everything and have those... Ooh, look at that. Bradley already has those big bats in the air, trying to go against all the seven airplanes.
Yeah.
7 planes coming out from Air Ninja. He can actually go snipe those for not for free, but let's see how good the control is. The air action is the key in this game.
All right. Well, sadly, it's Bradley. If he wants to get through, he wants to get the anti-air to get rid of those flying mosquitoes. But we'll see, because it seems like right now, even though the red side has 7 airplanes, as you say, you know, it's not attacking the ground.
Because
Okay.
the observer mode
Okay.
had some issues of not seeing everything on the screen. We are actually going to have, and not too much damage. It wasn't
Yeah.
like super one-sided.
Oh, yeah.
Only a few minutes into the game, we are going to have a reroom and a rematch between the two players. We could already see the hints of what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Seems like both players were willing to actually control the airspace. Once you control the airspace, if you just deploy a few of the small ones that cost 5-6 onto the lane automatically, they will just go destroy the tower.
Yeah.
But that was the hard part when I when I was personally playing the game. Controlling the airplane was an issue
Yeah.
because I was personally not that great. Just making it loop, we can loop it around, but it's not gonna attack the ground all the time. So what you do is you can loop all the way around the air, so it actually shoots and then it has a time to loop around the air, so it reloads and then it goes again. So those are the type of strategies that you can make. Once you get used to it, maybe you can get a little better.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, if you make your airplanes loop in the air horizontally, you know, it's just gonna attack air, but you have to make it go up and down and make it loop and let it dive into the ground. And if you don't do that, it's not gonna attack the ground units. But if you do that, it will attack the basic foot soldiers as well. So, you know, that is one of the better, I guess, in a way, defense to get rid of the many foot soldiers that automatically spawn. But right now, we did see the red side having 7 airplanes.
Yes. All those
I-
fighters.
Yeah, I don't know if 7 is necessary, because the basic airplanes, having 7 of them, yeah, it's great, but you're not gonna use those 7 airplanes to get into the base to attack the towers, because when you get close, they're so squishy. When the anti-air from the basic the air defense from you know, the opposing base, they get rid of their basic airplanes super quick.
Yep. And there are lots of counters to a unit, like the heavier ones. Anti-air, of course, really good against everything in the air, but anti-air is really weak against the tanks and the troops.
Yeah.
So there are plus and minus. Controlling the space where you have an area is going to be the key all the time. And when you have those artilleries and the tanks, they're really weak because they shoot only so many times in a few seconds, and they are so slow compared to all the motorcycles or the Jeep. So you can actually control that and if you just put the unit on the Jeep, it goes red, just drop it and it will go all the way and then snipe on it. So there are lots of ways and lots of counters for each unit for you to actually have in control. But this is a gigantic map. Once you're in the VR, you will basically see this entire I would say a lot larger than this entire table from the left and right, and you can't really split your eye and watch left and right at the same time. That's impossible.
So yeah, we'll see. We will get that remake soon. But like you were saying, the map is huge. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. I'm just explaining just for those of you who actually didn't get the chance to play this game yet. For those of you who played it, who probably thinking, oh, we already know. But you know, for those who didn't, the map is huge. But you know, you have to go here. You have to drag yourself all the way to the other side to drop units, deploy units. So you know, it's a lot of work cut out for you.
Let's see. And the rematch is ready.
Okay.
Between 8-Bit and SadlyItsBradley.
All right, so in the beginning, we did see SadlyItsBradley going with the troop units, the troop trucks. 8-Bits went, you know, that 7 aircraft. So we'll see how this start begins. It may differ a little bit. Right now, we do see both of them this time going that artillery and the heavy tank. But SadlyItsBradley is not going to support that artillery with the heavy tank, but put down that troop unit.
And we can have all the infantry, all the transport, and the heavy machine gun may be ready at the later stages of the game. Still too early. But both players unlocking into the first set of units. Okay, no air focus this time. We're back to all the artilleries, having the defense set up first.
So sadly, it's Bradley already has that upper hill on the left side. We have Apits on the left side. We have each artilleries just basically defending that one lane that the basic troops or the units, if you want to say, spawn in and walk through.
And you have all the pressure from the bazookas. Both players are actually going for very similar strategies in terms. Well, a lot more money just spent by Sadly.
Yeah, we have Sadly it's Bradley on the right. You can see bottom right. We have 2 bazooka troop trucks, whereas Apits does not have any. So if this goes on, Sadly it's Bradley will have more basic units spawning. So it might just get a little bit more lane control. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, we do have few fighters. We have 109s just in the air.
Okay.
But what Ninja actually focused here is that big airplane in the air. I think he wants to go really hard.
We do see Sadly's bazooka units coming through here. Like I said, these bazookas, yeah, maybe just having 1 or 2 is not going to be a big deal. But when it starts stacking up, look at that. Look at those bazooka units go through. He was getting pushed up the hill, but now he is the one walking down the hill.
As you just saw that micro control there, having one plane, fighter plane, just moving all the troops. That's important. Ninja's got a great setup from the top artillery. Keep on shooting wherever the troop is going to hit. But on the other side, similar pressure from Bradley. Let's see the differences coming though. We do see a lot of difference in number, what they are focusing. So Ninja's going for really heavy, expensive units, as you can see, for the plane and the heavy tanks. But Bradley going for the smaller ones with a lot more number. But if you have a lot more number, it means you have a lot more things to control at the same time. Let's see how good the micro is.
Yeah, Bradley has 3 infantry truck troops spawning right now with 2 extra bazooka troop unit trucks as well. So right now, sadly, it's Bradley, even though he loses his lane control, it won't matter. But right now, like I said, so many extra units pushing through. He is getting out of his base, easy peasy.
Already having the anti-air setup from Ninja, just in case the planes come all the way towards his base and remove all the spawning troops. And as long as if you have the few tanks along with that anti-air, you are pretty safe. So basically, if you have those set up, you don't even need to control. So I think that's exactly what both players are trying to go for.
Right now, Apits, you see the heavy tank on top of the hill with the anti-air. Unfortunately, that heavy tank on top of the hill won't attack the basic units because of the terrain, the height difference. That heavy tank should also be paired up with an artillery, because if you don't have an artillery like Sadly it's Bradley does right now on top of this hill, it's not going to attack any of the units that are walking up. They're just getting a free pass.
But look at this. This is actually the moment, I think, both players, because they can actually take a look at the map all the time. Bradley's setting for some secret attack from the side, not really putting down the tank directly into the lane. I think really saving up the money. Really saving up the money, getting everything together, and then having one gigantic push can actually finish the game in just a matter of minutes.
Yeah, right now I think I just saw Apits kind of move his troop truck by accident into the lane of the foot soldier, so he had to pull it back real quick. But right now, sadly, Bradley is pressuring Apits. Other than this one artillery causing a little bit of problem for Sadly it's Bradley, he might want to get rid of this one artillery tank that you see on your screen. But other than that, we have 2 heavy tanks still on top of that hill, not doing too much damage to the troops just walking by.
Slowly, both players are bringing everything that they have. Bradley almost lost that heavy one on top. Had it go down into the lane side, but already the defense is well set up by Ninja here.
Alright, so like I said, I think this heavy tank on top of the hill, this definitely has to be an artillery. He is gonna get pushed back if he doesn't decide to change or support that heavy tank with an artillery, because he's getting pressured like crazy right now.
There are some anti-airs, but they're basically placed not really moving for either side. So I think we are switching into the fighter planes. We're seeing 2 from each side. There are too many tanks on the ground. You do want to go snipe on them, where the anti-air tank is not at exactly.
All right, here. So
Lots of tanks means there will be a fighter plane coming. So anti-air, good setup here.
all right. Well, it seems like they don't want to. Well, at least 8-Bits has another thing in mind, because he's just putting heavy tanks on top of that hill instead of artillery. So he's allowing SadlyItsBradley to get out. But look at this. Now the flank lane for the money. The supply was taken by 8-Bits.
Nice. And that's where you get all the money together for the extra set. Artillery, once you break through that line, that's important. And Bradley right now going for that attack. They are strong. 2 big expensive units going back and forth. Ninja's also got his defense. But the artillery goes down, so this is the time where Bradley can push a little further, especially with the ground units. Ooh, but too many troops, too many bazookas from Ninja just spawning over and over again. Just a few more bazookas.
Oh, wow. But Ninja, 8-Bit Ninja right now has 5 heavy, super heavy tanks, the expensive one. You can see on the bottom, he has 5. SadlyItsBradley only has 1. Maybe he needs a little bit more artillery, more range to get rid of 8-Bits' heavy tanks right now, because if those 5 tanks push with the troops and the bazooka units, I don't know, the towers might just go down.
So I think we have a difference in focus. One more bazooka coming out from Bradley. So overall, the pressure will be released over the time, but what Ninja is doing, he's keeping all those ones alive, but the bomber plane has come from Bradley, and Ninja's gotta move all his ground troops, and with 2 shots, they will go down. So losing some pressure, well, and that's a lot of money though. Having that one great dive bomber coming out, all the shots connecting really well.
Right now, yeah, we definitely see 8-Bits trying to pressure right now. He has come out of his cave. He was getting pressured up until maybe like a couple minutes ago. He was defending his hill. We see his tanks kind of damaged here from defending, but he is trying to push out with the bazooka and the heavy tanks that he has poured out right now. Still 5 alive, so I guess in terms of unit count, 8-Bits Ninja is still on top. He is making his way out. We'll see how SadlyItsBradley reacts to this. Oh, we hear the nukes.
And I think it may be the time where we see a lot of tanks being destroyed, but that wasn't actually the biggest one, I would say.
It seems like 8-Bits actually moved the tanks out of the way. There were, I think, 3 heavy tanks up there on the where the nuke hit.
Look at the pressure coming from Bradley. All those tanks. Ooh, but they're kind of clumped up together. So they're taking damage before they even get to shoot.
Gone. Bradley's flank definitely did not work. He was caught.
And look at that, Bradley only having an anti-air, falling back right now. Ninja really going up the hill onto the red right side. Yeah, all these bazookas, they will just keep on pressuring. But if you lose that many tanks all the way together, just when you try to attack, you end up wasting all of your units. That's painful.
Definitely is painful. We do have that 1 tank on the side, doing the flank, getting rid, and buying some time for 8-Bits to push up the hill. We'll see if SadlyItsBradley decides to go another way, but if that's not the case, SadlyItsBradley will get slowly pushed up his hill, up his terrain, and if that is taken over, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be a good scene.
Oh, it's going to be tough as we keep on seeing few tanks being lost, and not too much focus from the from the BF fighters, because both of these players are trying to control their zone once again.
We do see it's Apit's kind of pushing up, like I said before. SadlyItsBradley is unable to retaliate yet. We have one of his tanks here idle. He did destroy the other tank that was on the mark for the supply. However, this very expensive strong...
Sadly's anti-air all the way on the back?
No, that's Apit's.
Okay, it had to be because it wasn't attacking 100%. But for a second, I thought it was one of the blue ones.
Okay. So now we finally see SadlyItsBradley bringing out his artillery tanks to do the long-range attacks. And now you see, right after he pulled that out, he is able to come out of his base. Finally, he was getting pressured. He comes out, but we do see Apit's artillery shooting back, kind of holding SadlyItsBradley right in front of his base, unable to come out.
Yes. First, when you think it's easier to control if you just drop one, see the arrows in the lane, the tanks will just follow the troops, but that's exactly what you don't want to do. You want all the tanks to be having a good setup, making sure they have good pathing for the next go-to. Okay. Sadly, got the reinforcements, full of money now.
Yep, he better start pumping out units because even without the supply, Apit's still has a lot more tanks, a lot more heavy tanks than him. Look at this. Even Apit's not even getting the supply. He is able to push out so many units. You can see right now in terms of numbers, the basic units, yeah, SadlyItsBradley has a little bit more, a couple more. But in terms of the heavy units and the expensive units, Ninja definitely has a lot more going on himself.
He's been stacking a lot of those heavy, expensive tanks.
Nuke sound once again.
Yeah, it's time to move, Bradley. Oh, it's actually on the other side from Ninja. Maybe Ninja? I think he took some damage. We saw one tank going down. You can't move everything together.
Here we go. Ninja starting to push up Bradley's hill once again. So right now, we haven't seen Bradley go all the way to Ninja's base, except for that one time early game. So after that, it's been Ninja just pressuring Bradley this whole time.
Ninja has a lot of expensive ones, but if you are losing everything together, like that into the high hill, you do want to control that high hill zone, of course, but if you stack 2 units, it will both take the damage. So those are the things that you do have to consider when you're pushing all the way through. Because if you just let the AI go, and have the tank just go straight through, they will clump up together and take all the damage. That's a lot more money wasted, basically. So Ninja was trying to pressure onto the hill to the other side, but it's not really going through really well. All right, this is the player. Of course, the players are moving around, so the observing can get blocked like that for a second.
Bradley, even though he has so many more troop trucks placed, he has 4 bazooka troop trucks and 4 infantry troop trucks, he's unable to come out. I guess now he's starting to kind of walk down his hill, but look at this. Apit's gets nuked in his base.
I think 2 bazooka troops actually went down. Or it was just enough, just around, so that it didn't really get too many units all the way together. Because both of the players are stacking up so much inside of the base, once it leaves the base, you can't control everything. I think they're trying to stack up for a major attack here.
Well, Apit's, like I said, has been pressuring, and even though Ninja has been the one to pressure SadlyItsBradley, he still has more units. He still has a lot more basic infantry units, more bazooka units spawning. But like I said, it's weird because SadlyItsBradley had a lot more troop trucks placed, and he's still losing because of the terrain control. Ninja has that upper hill advantage where he has taken over in front of SadlyItsBradley, so he can't come out.
Bradley's first tower gone on the other side of the map. And Ninja keeps on going. The second tower is almost half the damage. And the bomber comes to clean it up. But I think that was more than enough damage. The first actual real tower damage taken.
Exactly. We have one of the side flank entrances tower down. We do have the main entrance being pressured by Ape. It's non-stop. We've just been seeing the entrance of SadlyItsBradley's base basically like 80% of this game. So right now, Bradlley, he just wants to get out of his base. He wants to show you guys how 8-Bit's base looks like, and we haven't been able to see that in the past 10 minutes.
It will take some time, because not just because he lost the tower, but gladly, but not bad because it's actually not on the side where the units spawn all the time. So his defense is still there. It's just that he just has to be careful for extra set of those sneaky attacks coming down from Ninja.
Right, so we are basically, in terms of troop trucks, Bradlley only has one more infantry truck, so it's not a big difference anymore. Bradlley used to have 4-4, now only 3-2. However, we still have a lot more heavier tanks coming on the from 8-Bits, and you know, Bradley's trying his best to get out of his down this hill, but the pressure is keep coming. The pressure is ongoing. Bradlley has to find another way to get out of his base right now.
These are the automatic setups, but Ninja's cutting off the pressure from the troop with those tanks. Move out.
Whoa!
Bradley's
He got
all those
in the
units
face. Just gone. One troop truck. I think maybe I think 2 tanks maybe. But that nuke was huge. It did the damage to the towers as well. And that big heavy tank on the left you see from 8-Bit Ninja is just being a nuisance. I don't know. Bradlley needs to get rid of that. That's on his side of base. If he can't control that, that's gonna just be causing problems. Or if he can't take that out, Bradlley can do the same flank on the other side for himself, because they both have the same flanks. They both have the same terrain. So I don't know. Right now, 8-Bit just pressuring too much for Bradlley to handle.
Yes. All the tank destroyers are expensive, of course, but getting that through into the tower is what is going to be the key, and what both players are trying to do by having these sneaky attacks onto the side lanes. Ninja, good defense. Here comes the faster one, the more... Never mind. Just gets one-shot bombed. And that's why it's an expensive one, of course. Makes sense. Tank destroyer just destroying everything. Really good controls coming out from both players. And a good setup to remove the pressure from the troops, from Ninja. And I think that's exactly what Sadly needs to get rid of right now.
Right. So right now, still, like I said, 8-Bit just pressuring with macro. The amount of unit that he's been pumping out is immense. Bradlley is just trying to stay alive right now, but slowly his tower HPs are going down, as you can see on the top right. Now Bradlley once again back to 4 troop infantry trucks right now, 0 bazooka. So if you don't have bazooka when your opponent has 2 bazooka trucks down, this is just automatic push.
There's that second bomb drop from the anti-air. Even that is not enough against so many in the air pressuring. Both players still having one anti-air just in case there are a lot of planes coming out.
Yeah. And finally we see Bradlley retaliating with this artillery unit on your right on the screen. This is what 8-Bit has been doing on his side. So finally he is kind of getting revenge for doing that for so long. And because he got that artillery tank on the side to kind of damage the troop units, the infantry units, Bradlley finally can come out from his base.
All those heavy ones are following up. Ninja stacking. I think Ninja's trying to stack up all of his heavy units first of all.
All right, we have the supply. There we go. The
Bradlley
motorcycle.
picks it up.
All right, so now Bradlley finally, this one artillery that you see here and the heavy tank on the left, this is what it has changed for Bradlley and allowed him to come out, and another nuke landing on the side of 8-Bit Ninja this time. You see his tower HP going down a lot because of that nuke, and now Bradlley is pressuring 8-Bit Ninja up his hill. Finally, we get to see the front of 8-Bit's base.
I think it's time where we see some more pressure in the tower taking damage. Not a major damage, but finally the lane pressure is actually coming directly.
Wow. A huge comeback right now. And even though Bradlley lost one of the towers on his flank entrance, if 8-Bit loses a tower in the main lane, that's a lot bigger. That's going to allow Bradlley to pressure a lot easier compared to what 8-Bit has brought down on the side of Bradlley. So right now 8-Bit has to defend his main entrance like his life depends on it.
Oh yes, and those tank destroyers are going through with those artillery pressure, which both players started off doing, but later on, as we had the game go on for a little longer, it's just switched into the heavy tanks. And then we didn't really see the artilleries coming out too much. And now we see them going back. Yeah, but look at that. Ninja bringing that tank destroyer. Just one shot snipes it.
Alright, so now 8-Bit's doing basically what SadlyItsBradley did before. He's producing a lot of units. 2 infantry trucks, 3 bazooka trucks. So now 8-Bit, in order for him to get out, he knows that he needs a macro, he needs the units, he needs the numbers. So that's how Bradlley got out of his base with the flank artillery that is still alive. But now 8-Bit's kind of giving a taste of Bradley's own medicine right now.
And it's stacking one by one. And even the ones flying in the air, the dive bomber, both players actually focusing onto the tank sometimes because those tank destroyers are just way too powerful. We saw in one of the moments actually just having the fighter plane just diving into the base. If you see fireworks into the air, that basically means the fighter plane is not at the right place.
Seeing more air units coming out, especially on the side of 8-Bit Ninja. We have 4 already, 4 basic fighter planes roaming the air, just protecting basically his heavy tanks that are doing the flanking.
Yes, Bradlley has a good setup by having 2 anti-air. I think having 1 on each side, it can just be enough against all the planes. But and one of the anti-air really low on HP, so that might be a little troublesome when it comes down to the amount of planes that Ninja has. And also 5 tank destroyers. Let's see where he chooses to go through them. I think he's stacking a lot of them inside his base. Will be a good time to nuke from Bradlley.
Right, so just a couple moments ago we saw Bradlley pressuring 8-Bit, but now once again we are back to the front of 8-Bit's base. I mean, sorry, the other way around. Bradley's base. 8-Bit got out of his base, and he was able to kind of subdue and stop Bradlley from pushing his base. So we'll see how this counterattack.
Oh, Ninja with a sneaky attack into the tower. Might be the second tower going down. It seems like Bradlley has focused on somewhere else.
Yep, he's not looking. There we go. He does look. He does see it. He's gonna send the tank destroyer, or rather the artillery, to get rid of that 1 heavy tank and that anti-air.
And that's basically how you outrange. But the artillery takes some amount of time to take down the tank destroyer. But the defensive one takes it down with just the first single shot. But that's 2 towers down for Bradlley. But the other remaining towers, I think that's the important ones.
That is indeed right. That is the 2 towers up for Bradlley for the main lane. But still, he's been focusing on the side, on the flank. But he should be really focusing on his main entrance right now. He's been getting pressure. He hasn't been able to get out. His basic infantry troop units that spawn has just spawned and died, so there's no numbers stacking up on the side of Bradlley, whereas 8-Bit Ninja, you can see that he's constantly going from like 38 to 40 units back and forth with the 10 bazooka units, and the supply is just keep coming in for Ninja.
Ninjas keep on having the same strategy. Okay, tank destroyer, expensive, but so strong, powerful that I can break through. I'm destroying towers, okay? I can go to the side, catch Bradlley off guard. But a different story for Bradlley, okay? I will keep space with my artillery and have a lot of anti-air against the planes. Let's have the setup first and then attack with the heavy.
Right, so now both of these players, you can see their hands. They're basically focusing on the flank lane. He doesn't want to get flanked. Right now, Bradlley has the flank towers down, so if he really gets into the side lane, Bradlley could be in huge trouble. This is why
and a big fight here.
Focusing.
And that anti-air is gone.
All right, so Bradlley kind of focusing and using his resources to defend his flank because 2 of his towers on the side lanes are down for him.
And a lot more troops coming because Ninja's got a big setup with the bazookas. Slow, but over the time, I think it will, of course, help Ninja when he already has the tank destroyer again from the side. Bradlley would love to have those ones move out a little closer to the lane, so that you want that space control until you reach the tower directly.
So you see this right now on your screen. This one artillery is just destroying all of 8-Bit's units. Yeah, like they're not all dying in one shot, but the health, but the nuke, once again, comes from Ninja.
Not really catching everything. And as long as they survive, they will keep on providing all the troops. So Bradlley not really losing too much. Ninja, that was a big money spent.
All right, here we go.
It was 27-minute mark. Both players are really choosing to actually keep the same strategy. Let's see if we will actually have some difference coming. No more bombs coming down from the dive bomber. That's why both players somewhat focused to get rid of all those tanks.
Look at this. Bradlley knows that this one artillery is keeping him alive. This one artillery, the moment this goes down with the 2 anti-air supporting it just in case for the bombers, you know, this one artillery will keep Bradlley alive and prolong this game to go on a lot longer. If 8-Bit Ninja wants to get, kind of have a chance to finish this game and be able to push, he has to do something about that artillery on the side.
Yes, the pressure is real, and I think that's what we're going to have. And towers did take some damage. Bradlley had some pressure, but going through all these straight up into the lane, that will take a lot of time. Ninja got 2 towers down and some more damage already into Bradley's towers, but what's remaining is the importance when I look at the amount of tanks, anti-air, the heavy tanks inside the base. That's, I think that was a call from Bradlley right now, going for all those units.
Yep, there we go, the nukes.
Missile. Where is it gonna be?
Oh, it already went down in his base. So right now, I think nukes destroyed a couple of troop trucks maybe, and some of the basic foot soldiers that were coming out. We didn't get a great look, but like I said, this side right now, on the side of Bradlley, the 2 tanks and artillery. If Ninja doesn't do something about this and he just stays here, just doing the same thing, this game will not end. Right now, 8-Bits did get that extra money from the supply that dropped. That anti-air just standing on the mark will give, a little bit of a for Ninja. But like I said, Ninja has to get rid of those side flank tanks that are stationed and has been causing so much problem for Ninja.
All those stationaries set up inside the base, you do want to get rid of them, but sending an air unit will be a suicide mission basically. That's why you just have to launch that big missile. We see that coming down. Let's see where Ninja wants to focus. He has been stacking up the numbers on the tank destroyers. Okay, they're not inside the base. They're set up on the high hill right in front. But they're not really defending too much. I think Ninja's just stacking right now.
See see the bazooka units come out. They will get rid of the foot soldiers, and the bombs drop perfectly on top of that one.
Great dive bomber control there. And unfortunately, the tanks were stacked. You do not want to keep them stacked just like that because all those air units will attack them together.
Right now, we do see 8-bits stacking up these heavy tanks, like you said, 5 of them stacked. But those 3 that are on top of the terrain, they won't attack down unless it's an artillery tank. That's why I keep saying maybe just keep one artillery there for it to attack down. We have the one all the way in the back. You see, oh my gosh, the hand is too big.
The hand is too big, but that's where the players are focusing.
Yep.
Their attention is right there where the fight is at. Both players going a little heavier right now, putting down all the tanks.
All right, we do see 8-bits trying to get out of his base. He sends his tanks on the side. He has that extra anti-air on the flank.
Oh, Bradley knows.
Look at this. Yeah, he does know. They are once again getting ready for the fight on the sidelines.
Let's see Hetzers. But let's see how, because they're all stacked up.
Look at this.
I think the nuke is supposed to come on top. I think Bradley wants to push a little further.
Oh, the hand. Nope, yeah, I thought the nuke was gonna come onto this heavy tank, but I think it went into.
I think Ninja was thinking about the same thing.
Yeah.
But Bradley actually had another thought. Okay, because of that Ninja's tank destroyers were stacked together, and with a lot less units, Bradley actually got his cost. This action keeps on happening. Good artillery setup from Bradley, of course.
Yeah, so while basically Bradley did a very huge mind game, so Ninja thought the nuke was gonna come onto his heavy tanks, but that's why he was backing out, which allowed Bradley to actually get control of the flank. In the meantime, the nuke dropped into 8-bit Ninja's base, getting rid of his troop trucks instead.
I think it's time to move out the artilleries a little further. It's okay to go outside the base because you can potentially, of course, outrange the tank destroyers a lot. But you might be finding yourself is that you have too many things to control outside of your base.
All right, Ninja dodged that bomber very well. We do see the bombers kind of going down. Good catch on the
you do have to control all those fighter BF 109s individually. And if you just let one versus one, they will just loop around forever sometimes. If you do not have your focus on it.
All right, Ninja is once again stacking on the flank, getting ready for that attack that he failed just before. We'll see if Ninja is able to push this side, because once Ninja gets control of Bradley's flank, that's basically game over. But you know, Bradley has been doing such a fantastic job defending this side right now. The attack is going through.
Yeah, Ninja is thinking about the same things. Okay, this worked before. I got some damage into the tower. I got 2 towers altogether. Might as well try once again. And at least this one to take the focus away, attention away from the other player. And this is not all because Ninja on the bottom of the screen says he has 5 tank destroyers. So having this set up on one side and keeping some others onto the left from the red side.
All right, but in the meantime, Ninja has to do something because the pressure is coming. Bradley is walking up his hill very soon. Even though all the bazooka units are being produced, Bradley is once again starting to pressure Ninja right in front of his base. Ooh.
Well, the bazookas are actually do quite a lot of damage towards the tank. So you do not really want to toss the tanks onto the lane. That will just be spilling money. Here we go, Ninja.
All right.
Bringing some action. He wants to get the anti-air first. And what follows from Bradley? I don't think the player doesn't really have too much exactly.
Oh my gosh, I think, yeah, finally 8-bit gets rid of that one artillery that's been up that hill with the 2 anti-airs you see. It's finally destroyed. It's going to allow 8-bit Ninja's bazooka units you see on the main lane. There's like a ton. There's like 13 of them walking up freely now, taking no damage. If this goes through, Ninja might be able to push through Bradley's front entrance.
Yeah, Bradlley just lost one of that dive bomber as well. So a lot more lane pressure.
Gosh, now that defensive artillery is down, I don't know. Bradley definitely needs to produce a couple more to replace those tanks that have been blown up. If not, 8-bit Ninja is going to keep pressuring like he is right now in front of his base. Look at the stacked bazooka units.
So no direct pressure from the artilleries anymore. Okay, Bradley's got one. Bradley just wants to set up.
Oh gosh.
How many bazooka is that from Ninja?
Yeah, that's stacked
It's
up.
about 10 plus.
Yeah, I think that's 10 plus.
And the tanks right behind, following it.
Oh my gosh. This is hell.
He wants to finish the game here, getting the tower damage directly.
He's gonna nuke. I think he wants to nuke the entrance where the artillery was. Look at him pull back. Oh! He knew the pullback was gonna happen and he predicted that.
That's perfect for Ninja because he wants to push into the towers, getting all those tanks that were defending that had to be moved. Moving in, Ninja with the tank destroyer, still pretty heavy. Dive bomber, good shot on them.
Oh
but
my
the follow still.
That was huge. All of the towers are down.
Gone.
Now it's just for 8-bit Ninja to push up. But Bradley is not gonna give up. He has his heavy tanks ready up on the hill, basically doing the job of his towers that has been broken. We will see if Bradley will be able to defend this because it looks pretty hard, but the 2 bombers and the troops on the flank are kind of causing trouble for 8-bit, but it's not going to be huge.
Ninja spent that much to go all the way that far, got the towers down, but Bradley does have the time because Ninja ended up getting a lot of his units destroyed. So Bradley does have some time, but control from Ninja is amazing. Already have this great setup up on the hill. 2 tank destroyers, anti-air. You can't really do too much about that.
All right, here we go. We do see the tank destroyers kind of fighting across the terrain right now, but Ninja's tank destroyer does go down. Here we go. This time Bradley gets that supply. He has full money. He's leaking. He's wasting a lot of money just now, even with that supply that he got. He should have spent everything first.
It's extremely hard when you have to control this many units and also spend money to look into the future. Of course, it's just a click away to get that menu on the shopping list for yourself.
Gotta be able to shop well, man. You can't just be looking. You can't window shop. Here we go now. It's just been going back and forth. Now Bradley, even though with his towers destroyed at his main entrance, he is pushing out right now. 8-bit Ninja is getting pressured once again. It's been going back and forth, but Bradley has 6 true producing units, 4 bazooka trucks put down. 8-bit Ninja 1 troop unit and 3 bazooka. So right now in terms of basic units being produced, it's back to Bradley's side where he's gonna have the massive amount of numbers.
Really having that hit. Good artillery setup. 3 of them actually. Because if Bradley lost, sadly it's Bradley lost all the towers. Artillery will kind of act as the tower defense in his own base. So Ninja trying the similar thing once again, stacking all those together. The tank destroyers are going up the hill, and Bradley surely knows because he's got his defense set up. It's coming. Tension's adding on.
Okay. Now, like I said, Bradley, even with all his towers down, he is able to pressure Ninja right now. And Ninja ignoring the front. He's gonna go. The flank action has begun.
And good micro. Ninja will keep on pushing.
With the artillery. That one artillery behind the rock.
And the dive bomber on top of those tank destroyers.
Get close and personal. Does get rid of that artillery, but he has taken too much damage. He has lost, I think, 3 to 4 tank destroyers.
Oh, even sending one of the motorcycle.
No!
Just for some more damage, but yeah, motorcycle doesn't really do too much damage, as you can tell from the screen. It's mostly for picking up all those reinforcements, all the airdrops.
All right, well, with the numbers, like I said before, Bradlley is able to push up the main entrance for 8-bits right now. The heavy tanks, it seems like they're just running over, but yeah, in this game, unfortunately, you don't run over people.
And Ninja really pressuring onto few things together. He doesn't want to lose too much. His first tower went down. Surely, in terms of tower numbers, Ninja seems like he's winning. But in terms of units and the focus that Bradlley has from all over the place, both players have to make a decision here. As their towers are going down, the units are all stacking up. There are too many.
There's way too many. There's 70 infantry units coming from Bradlley right now. That is huge. Only 11 bombers. We've seen like 14, I think even up to 22 from Ninja before, but that was years ago. Right now, he's sending out just all the units possible, and I think that was an accident for sending out that anti-air. But Bradlley, so much pressure coming from.
Yeah, even the dive bomber into the base of Ninja just to get some damage into the base.
Another nuke sent from Bradlley.
I think one didn't make it.
It did.
With that slimmer of HP.
Oh, he's up the hill now. This is the easy part now. Getting up the hill is hard, but when you're already up the hill, you're done walking up and you're done sweating.
And Bradlley made that possible with the nuke, just like how Ninja actually it's basically a copy of what Ninja just did about like 6-7 minutes ago. Having that nuke, making sure all the tanks are gone from the tower side.
Right now, the focus of both of these players, it's been 42 minutes. We don't get to see 40-minute games in Final Assault many times, but this is one of the cases. Bradlley, you see his rally point arrows going through. He wants to get into his base and personal up in Ninja's face right now.
Just gotta go through. All those bazookas sometimes do have to get moved. As the time goes, great dive bomber.
Yeah.
Because of that base anti-air, you do end up losing it.
Yep.
But if all the tanks are stacked up like that, I think it might be worth to do one big damage into those clump of units together.
Definitely was worth it. I think he got a lot of hits on that heavy tank. But I see an artillery bomb coming through in the back. Yeah, you see that one artillery kind of causing problems, doing its best to defend for Ninja. But another nuke coming from Bradlley. Right now, Bradlley knows that 6 troop trucks and 3 bazooka trucks will do the work. So now he's just saving up money and just nuking.
Ooh, Ninja actually moved out most of his expensive ones out of the way.
But I think that move, like you said, moving him out of the nuke, basically got them killed by the infantry units from Bradlley.
And what do you want to have the setup here? As Bradley's really pushing, and along with this pressure, you want to make sure your tanks are following up, or at least having some better artillery setups. And Bradlley has been using some artillery, and where are they? Just in a defensive mode?
Yeah, Bradlley definitely has the artillery in the back. We saw the bombs come out, getting shot from artillery, but another nuke coming from Bradlley. This is slowly going to buy time here. Yeah, he's nuking the backside to get rid of the tanks that are actually getting produced. You see the tanks where they're coming out from. Basically, Bradlley just nuked the entrance of that place to buy him some breathing room for him to get up there.
And for all those troop units, it takes time. If you go onto the opposite side, the lanes will be free for Bradley's side. There's their artillery. It was just there the entire time.
Yeah, look at this. If you look at the money, right now Ninja is just busy producing, trying to defend. He brought out 5 bazooka troop trucks right now.
And lots of cheaper ones, the Panzers to defend. But is that really enough?
Well, if you notice, this one or these two bazooka trucks on the side flank was actually creating some room for Ninja to work with. You notice that Bradley's units in front of Ninja's base has dwindled down by a lot because of these bazooka units on the side. They are just killing and getting rid of every Bradley's units right now.
It's actually stacking them up, so the bazooka works better in terms of the area damage.
Oh my gosh. Ninja, I thought it was over for him, but now he has breathing room. He can save up money, but if you see Bradley, his money is just... He's just nuking. He's just saving money, nuking, saving money, and nuking. Whereas Ninja, he has to keep producing units that's being killed by Bradley, and once again, another nuke comes down.
A few units for the cost. I think it was a good trade for Bradley. I think that's exactly what this player wants to focus on to finish this game. 46-minute mark.
If you notice all the... Oh no, we just passed. But Bradley still has that one artillery unit. There we go. We see it on the left. That one artillery with that anti-air. That's been there for ages, and it actually attacks into Ninja's base. So any tanks stationed in the main entrance, it will go down. But look at these
just like
four
that.
Fighter units. Yeah.
All those small tiger ones.
Yep.
Are taking damage, so they can't really be too close out of the base at all. Okay, Ninja in this way is in trouble. The anti-air will actually falling back. Maybe Bradley does want to focus in just one big attack. There are a few more tanks following up.
The big stack unit are coming, but Ninja has shot the nuke onto the side flank of Bradley, getting rid of some tanks here. But that isn't the important bit right now. The main entrance, look at the stacked bomb units. Just going all down by those tanks.
It's really coming down to an end, but the base are basically most of the towers are gone, but the base pressure is actually, it was just about to happen with the bazookas, but good defense from Ninja. Ooh, 8-bit.
Right. Oh, look at those artillery doing work. Yeah, right now 8-bit is also answering with artillery, but it does go down. We see Bradley's placements for these artillery units. I'm telling you, these artillery has massive range, and they are able to just open up.
Now pressuring
look at this!
He's about to pressure into the base, moving it a little closer on the hill. Taking that anti-air first and just moving it. Good micro defense. But the pressure is coming.
Oh gosh, look at all the bombers. We do hear the bombers coming from Bradley. He has one. Probably wants to get rid of those tanks.
Is going into the base finally.
Look at
Bradley's size. Or those bazookas have locked onto the base of 8-bit Ninja.
Oh gosh, just there's one heavy tank and one tank destroyer and the bazooka troop truck, but it does go down as I say that. Half health down.
Too many bazookas still now locking on once again. Here comes a tank destroyer from Bradley. But that is gonna be it. Way too many troops and all that together.
Wow. That was huge.
That was a match.
Because I thought it like 70 to 80% of the time we saw it was like almost a 50-minute game, I think. And we saw 8-bit Ninja pressuring Bradley from early game to mid game to even mid late game, but Bradley somehow found a way to place those artillery on the flanks to create some breathing room for himself.
I think that's exactly what happened. Ninja had the first real big flank onto one of the side and got 2 towers, and then I actually thought, okay, Ninja's making all those big moves first, taking all those towers down, making sure it's off from it's onto the other side where the lane is not really having the spawns. So maybe this is a chance for Ninja. Maybe he keeps on doing this. Maybe he can go into the base, but no. Bradley had defense all the time, keep setting up because he knew that there will be just tank destroyers coming down. And I think what changed a lot of the game when the game actually started to move was when that big missile was being used to move all the ones inside of the base,
Yeah.
the troops, when
Oh,
they
yeah.
had to be moved, waste of a lot of micro, the focus. When the opponent is just spending money just throwing down in one move.
Yeah.
So I think taking down those micros away, I think that was the important part about the game.
Yeah, that was a huge part where it created the room for him to get up that hill and do a little bit of damage, like you said. But, oh my gosh, this was an epic game because, yeah, the first game was great, but the second game that we just saw was super epic. It was a long game. Both of these players had to stay focused in the VR mode for roughly 50 minutes. And I play this game, you play this game, you know how hard that is.
Yes, plus 30 minutes was a pretty rough one for me. But
Yeah.
those are the matches for the round of 4. But we're going to be back with the losers and winners very soon. So guys, stay tuned. We will be back very soon. Welcome back to WCG VR Championship with Final Assault. We had the first two matches, round of 4, and then we're gonna have the losers, winners, and then the finals, and then we're gonna have all the matches coming up very soon. But what a long match we had!
Yeah, it was
almost
long.
50 minutes.
Yeah, it was roughly 50 minutes. It was long, but it was definitely worth watching because you can learn from what happened in that long game compared to the first game. The way that the second game went was, both of these players wanted to go with the troop producing trucks, and that just basically you have to wait for the massive units to be produced, and they have to push the units, and you can't control the individual troop units, which is why we saw in the beginning Ninja set up that artillery and the tanks on the side, causing problems for Bradley. But for Bradley to come back from that, it took him a long time, which is why the game was so long.
Yes, and for you to control every single unit, it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
That's why the strategy is important, the amount of units. Because both players ended up picking the same unit selection,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why the game went on for a little longer time than usual. But that's also the fun part. Mirror match.
Yeah.
Who's better?
Exactly. That's in any game. You do a mirror match, that basically sets the record. I am on top of you according to this character.
And seems like we are just about ready to get into the losers match for NA. It's going to be Pretty Neat on the red side, 8-Bit Ninja in blue.
All right, so now we're gonna be seeing players that we've seen in the past. You do have Pretty Neat playing the German armored character here, the lady, and we have 8-Bits going back to the same kind of unit, Gallen's division, the German infantry unit.
I think both characters really have a good balance. But this map is the one that you can place all the tanks in the middle of those big houses, big buildings, but and all the artilleries would actually shoot across from them. Even if they don't have the exactly sight on it, Copal Mine is just acts in that way because they're still in range.
Yeah, and you notice that there are a total of 6 towers on each side. So there's gonna be the main lanes, and we have the side lanes as well. So we'll see what they decide to focus on. Look at this, already Pretty Neat. We can see that Pretty Neat's units are in front of the side of Ninja's side entrance instead. And oh my gosh, look at all these motorcycles ganging up on that artillery, and it does go down.
Yes, using all that speed and actually not crazy amount of money, and having few staying alive. That's the key, I think, because you do want to have at least one unit on that X mark for that airdrop.
Yes, we do.
It is a different map where you actually have the 2 lanes twisted, and the opponent side will actually meet your spawning troop in the middle, but you can also have tanks going to your other lane, which is the opponent's lane.
Exactly, and right now you see Pretty Neat once again going for the troop producing infantry unit here. 5 of them placed down. Same goes for Ninja though. He's responding with 4 infantry trucks and 1 bazooka truck as well. So we have seen this in round 1 and 2 as well, where we see the basic troop units being placed for the basic unit productions, and then they work with the extra units. But look at this. The crazy artillery Hummel coming from Pretty Neat. This is another character that I love playing. So much artillery units. I was talking to you about this before we got in, and I said German armored character is the one I like because they have, well, artillery tanks are basic, but artillery Hummel, the Hummer that carries all the extra artillery, is just crazy. It has range, it has firepower. So right now, Pretty Neat is playing the character that I love. We'll see how he decides to roll with this.
The half-track does require a lot of control, but once you can actually have your attention on it, you can get a lot of value out of it.
Look at this. Pretty Neat once again in front of Ninja's base doing some damage. Ninja just trying to destroy these tanks on the side.
So there are two lanes, one with Twisted, and the other one that goes all the way around all the buildings. Where do you want to focus? Let's see, pretty neat so far. Focusing on the one that comes around from the other side, not the Twisted DNA-looking lane.
DNA. But yeah, we do see pretty neat trying to defend. He has been had the control. Look at that. Oh, artillery Hummel. Look at that. That's just like, I think 4 to 5 shots, artillery shots, just coming all at once. That's just crazy. I love that unit. That's actually pretty expensive though. So you want to keep that alive.
Exactly what you're looking for.
All right, here we go. This is the other side lane where pretty neat has been pressuring. You can see the tower damage already on the side and on the other, both lanes actually on the side of Ninja. Look at one of the towers already down.
This game can get really fast because of all those free troops going directly to the towers. Once you remove the pressure from the opponent, it will just go straight up. But it's likely going to be the one at the center, and the center ones get shot from a lot more towers than just 2. But still a big accomplishment, starting from pretty neat already in 5 minutes.
All right, here we go. This is where the troops meet.
So because there are a lot of medium tanks coming out from pretty neat, like the Tiger, Ninja wants to bring down that destroyer once again and make sure he moves on from this loser's round.
All right, here we go. Ninja producing a lot of the anti-tanks, the tank destroyers. As long as they are able to focus on the artillery Hummel, that you know, they are doing their jobs. But if they get destroyed by the artillery, because the artillery plus the artillery Hummel that I was talking about coming from pretty neat, they have that massive range and they have the ability to shoot that uphill, the up terrain behind the building, over the building. So, you know, as long as Ninja is able to place these tank destroyers right, he can benefit from it, but pretty neat, like I said. Ooh, okay.
Yes, the tank destroyers can take many shots from the artillery. So that's exactly why you bring it, take a few shots, but you can one-shot the artillery, you can compare though.
2 artilleries here with the backup tank, but just gets destroyed. Yeah, one shot. I'm telling you.
It's a cost difference. The tank destroyers it cost a lot, but they do great amount of damage. Few more artilleries are being set up.
All right, so pretty neat was doing actually pressuring 8-Bit Ninja early game. You know, we were talking about how I think it was like 4 minutes and like 40 or 50 seconds where pretty neat got the first tower down, but ever since then, Ninja was able to produce those anti-tanks and tank destroyers. Pretty neat is getting pushed back here.
You can have a few small ones, the Panzers, to defend the troops out here. But it's not going to survive for a long time. Also have the air war going through. Still, 8-Bit Ninja focusing a little more, having 5 of those Fighter BF-109.
Alright. Well, you just saw Ninja having those tank destroyers shooting at the mini troops, the foot soldiers. And, you know, unfortunately for tank destroyers, if those shots don't land, they don't do damage. You can see that right now. It shoots so fast, so if it doesn't land on the foot soldiers, they'll just, you know, walk past. But, you know, they are strong against tanks and big units, so we'll see if keeping these alive will benefit Ninja later on in the game.
Yeah, once they stop for the towers, they will get hit. But the pressure from the air will be the critical part, because those tank destroyers, I think Ninja's just stacking up for a big attack. So far, pretty neat. Can have some answers against it. Has a lot more troops spawning inside the base. We see 7. Oh, yeah. That just got down to 5.
Right. Well, the cargo's coming down. You heard the radio. We'll see who takes that cargo for that extra money. We hear the plane. The parachute is dropping. There we go, and it seems like Pretty Neat will get the extra money. And this time around, we don't see any money wasted, even though he got the cargo, because Pretty Neat was able to spend everything before he got that. So he's going to be producing a little bit more units. We hear the nuke.
Pretty Neat did lose a lot.
Boom. I don't know. I think we did see the nuke come from Pretty Neat to Ninja, but it seems like it only hit one tank, unfortunately. I think he could have hit the towers and the tanks, or the troop truck at least.
Those are some possibilities where Pretty Neat lost basically most of the tanks and all the planes in the air again. So Ninja does have stacked on paper. Stacked numbers in paper on the right bottom. You can read what's going on exactly. 5 destroyer, 1 dive bomber. You've been doing some damage inside of the base. Suicide mission, but as long as you're keeping damage, and Ninja's going in, some damage, chipping into the tower now. That's one tank destroyer hitting it.
Oh, and the bazooka unit coming in as well. Unfortunately for Pretty Neat, he only has the basic infantry trucks for support.
The Tiger got one hit, but not enough to go against the tank destroyer. Ninja stacked these up for this entire game to go all in, and it's working.
It definitely is working. Fortunately for Ninja, he has the troop units and the bazooka troop trucks. Pretty Neat, unfortunately, does not have the bazooka truck, so he has to only be producing the regular foot soldiers with the troop trucks, and that might be backfiring for him because the bazooka units are getting rid of them easily.
Even the dive bombers. Ninja has a lot more.
Oh my gosh!
Things to actually waste, so you can actually kind of just throw down one bomb from the dive bomber, and then make sure these are connecting on the other side. Towers are going down.
Oh, 4 towers down.
Damage.
Just getting pressured from all sides.
Pretty Neat. Seems like does not really have an answer against it.
Yeah, so we noticed the first round, the first 2 games we saw was only 1 lane, but this is 3 lanes we see. So if you lose control over one and you're forced to defend the other one, and your opponent goes to another lane to pressure that while you're defending your first lane that you were trying to defend.
That was the last tower.
Happen.
That was the last tower. Ninja's moving into the base of Pretty Neat. Units going in. Tanks are moving out.
Oh gosh, already attacking the main base.
And
the command
base
center
is taking too much damage. Seems like this is going to be game. And Ninja moving out from the winner's match.
Wow.
And that's one compared to what we had before. Around 11 minutes. And Ninja moving out from the losers. Will be versing the one that loses from the winner's match. But it seemed like the tank destroyer is the answer. The answer, the key to a win here.
Yeah, and you know, we know that tank destroyers are expensive, and if you see that paper, well, now you're on us, but the paper says top developed units, and the tank destroyer being up there on that list is huge because usually you don't see that all the way up there in 3rd place because that is such an expensive unit that, you know, you only produce a couple in order to, you know, do a sneaky attack to get rid of some artilleries. You don't stack them up like, you know, Ninja did just now in this game.
Yeah, you don't let that happen usually.
Yeah, basically.
And that's exactly why Pretty Neat was trying to have the missile go on top of those tanks, so gets a lot of value. But Ninja was ready because Ninja had that really long game trying to dodge all the missiles altogether. He's used to it. His control got a lot better within that time.
Yeah.
Which made perfect sense. Oh, when you hear that noise, move everything spread out so it doesn't really not too many get killed at the same time.
Wow. Even though that was a loser's game, you know, they're both losers coming from round 1 and round 2, but we did see a little bit of a skill difference, I guess, in a sense. 8-Bits Ninja, you said that he was a little bit warmed up and kind of evolved after that 50-minute game. But Pretty Neat, you know, he had a good start. He had the massive units going up, and he was the one to get that first tower down on the side of Ninja. But after that, Pretty Neo was unable to follow through and continue the pressure and allowed Ninja to come back after kind of stacking up all that tank destroyer.
Yeah, that's right. Ninja was willing to really take that damage. It was also the central towers, and there are 2 more on the left, 2 more on the right. Those towers can go down easily because of the natural pressure that it has from the lanes. But you still have 4 more, and when you're stacking all those tank destroyers and the opponent doesn't really have an answer against you, well, what a perfect game you can have.
Yeah.
As long as I collect all these and just move out, I can win. That's exactly what Ninja thought in the losers match.
Definitely. And also another big reason, I should say, why the game was, you can see the skill difference as well. And the speed of the game actually being like 11 minutes or 12 minutes.
11 minutes.
11 minutes. Because, like I said, round 1 and 2 were just one main lane. But starting this, the losers, we're not going to have the 1 lane maps anymore. We're going to have multiple 2 lanes, 3 lane
Bigger maps too.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're unable to control everything, if you're unable to micro, and if your brain isn't able to keep up with all the actions, then that's actually going to show a big difference in skill gap.
All right, we are ready to move into the winners match between SadlyItsBradley and Reality Check.
All right.
Reality Check on red
Ooh.
side, SadlyItsBradley. Both picking US.
Yeah, U.S. Infantry Simmons division here. This is very unlikely, not because, not saying Simmons division is good or bad. It's just, yeah, I actually did get to see a lot of mirror matches regarding German characters.
That's
but
right.
in terms of U.S. infantry, or especially in the U.S. side, we don't see both players playing the U.S. infantry, and this is rare. But we'll see what happens. Like we said before, mirror matches decide, and the pride is on the line. Who is the better player?
Can have some mortar setups. Will come in later part of the game because you'd have to first of all unlock all the units. That will take some time, at least few first minutes of the game.
Well, the first minutes of the game already, Reality Check unlocks the first set and is producing the mortar units, or he already has the 2 mortar trucks down. So you see on the left side of your screen, he already has 5 coming out.
You do want to have that set up with the Jeeps. Bradley is going for that X mark to just not to really relieve the pressure too much, but just to have at least 1 unit or so, getting ready for the future of having the airdrops. Ooh, just in time. Sadly, it's Bradley getting that perfect sense.
Okay. Trying to see.
So far, Reality Check is focusing on the bazookas once again, making sure his troops will stack over time and pressure into Bradley's side. But what Bradley is doing is a little different. Of course, we do have to have the artilleries, making sure you are winning the space, controlling the landmass. Let's see where they focus though. Is it going to be the twisted side or the one that goes all the way around?
I will have to see, but just from the start, we already see the difference in playstyle. Reality Check, he's going for the troop trucks. We have 3 infantry trucks down, 3 bazooka trucks down, whereas Bradley only has 2 infantry trucks down. That's it, and he's producing units. He's going for the air units, and Bradley already unlocked the 3rd part of his units, and he's producing the massive air unit that is super expensive already. And we'll see if Bradley is able to control that unit and keep it alive. Reality Check has this artillery that we always talk about. Great placements of these artillery buys you time, gives you room to work with, try different things.
And that's exactly what you're waiting for. But the big airborne is what Bradley is focusing on a little more. That bomb-heavy flying fortress. You need to control really well, though. There are, anti-air is coming for Reality side, but just 1 for now. It is pretty expensive. Okay, Bradley getting the 3rd one.
Wow.
That bomber heavy.
He's really going heavy on that.
once you try to control a lot of tanks, if you have a lot of bomber heavy, you can get snipe onto the tanks easily, but it is a very expensive unit on the map, which can be sniped with just the Thunderbolt, the fighter plane, the cheap one from the opponent.
Yeah,
you do have to really control it super well.
Yeah, so there are the 2 Thunderbirds that are in the air fighting each other. We'll see. Now we have 3 stacked up for Bradlley on the side of the plane. The huge planes that are ready to drop some bombs. You see them roaming around. We just saw them. Here we go. We see these 3 kind of getting ready. We'll see when Bradlley decides to deploy them. There we go. I think he's going out.
Going all the way around the map, but Reality Check is ready.
Yeah.
All those small Thunderbolts.
And he has 3 anti-airs getting ready too. Oh, the Thunderbolt doing the damage. Oh, it's hurting. It's hurting. Will he be able to drop it?
A lot of HP. Will it get the drop?
No, it broke.
But still has 4. Bradlley still has 4. Now it's 3. Let's see the focus though. I don't think that was the only one that was coming.
Oh, look at the HP of the main headquarters. It's going down. He's literally just bombing it. 50% down. Look at this.
Already, he's going for that all-in strategy here.
Another one. Will the bombs drop? Will the bombs drop? Yes, it does. Look at the damage. Holy moly.
A few more. Bradley's got a spicy sauce for us.
He was tired from the 50-minute game. He wants to end this fast.
No, but Reality Check has 4 anti-air.
But
he's getting the setup, but it takes a long time to get that big plane down.
Look at this. Again, the 2 Thunderbolts are on it. It's not enough. There we go. The anti-air is actually hitting it. Will it drop? Nope. This time it does not drop its bombs.
Yep. The base anti-air plus 4. And with those 2 Thunderbolts, I think that may be enough now.
All right, we hear the base artillery.
The missiles.
Oh, it's going all the way straight to... Oh my God, Bradlley
compared to one big missile nuke, these actually do damage to the base. So Bradley's going in all-in cheese strategy. What Reality's getting a big defense, but in time, in just few more minutes, it could actually be game if he's just defending this entire game.
Yeah, right now, Reality, he's producing the units. He has 11 bazookas, 3 mortar units, but what is he doing? Unfortunately, the tower for Bradlley are still pretty healthy, so he's basically just willing to take the damage to get rid of that command center to win the game. And Bradlley, it's not like he has no defense. He has 2 artilleries. He's placed them in front of his towers. He's gonna delay the towers going down from Reality Check's regular foot soldiers and the bomb units. Here we go, another bomber.
Yeah, look at the amount of troop plus that Reality Check wants to go for. And Reality Check was trying to focus for the longer game, really big macro game in play. But Bradlley's going for the opposite.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Reality Check is sending one of his own. But, Bradlley, this one definitely took a lot of damage. Like you said, Reality Check has been ready. 5 anti-airs.
It's all spread out around the base. Ooh, compared to that. Yes, just the base anti-air. Doesn't have the exact anti-air, the GMC anti-air unit from Bradley's side. So Reality Check's got a good defense now.
Another one. This one is Bradlley going to Reality Check. The command center will be taking some damage.
Yeah, it's not gonna finish, but it will be chipping damage.
All right, so basically, I think one more good bomber plane with artillery could almost finish Reality Check.
But there are way too many anti-air from Reality Check. Maybe it's a good idea for Bradlley to just save up money and keep on directly attacking to the base, because there are big chances of failing if he produced that unit.
Exactly. Here we go. You see Bradlley again. Yeah, he's doing exactly as you say.
I think that's exactly what he's going for.
He knows.
Reality Check also has his bomber one going straight into Bradley's base, though. It will take some time. This is basically a base race for both players.
Yeah, this is Cheese Rush. Reality Check, unfortunately, had a later start because he was focusing. Oh, but look at this. Look at this. No anti-air. No anti-air. The bombs are dropping. Oh my gosh.
Yep,
Reality
no
check.
GMC anti-air as a unit, only the base.
But look at this, Bradley's money is stacking up $30. There
more.
we go. I think reality check can live through this. One more.
But another
Yeah.
bomber plane is coming towards Bradley's side. Let's see how the money will actually stack. I think the next setup.
Oh my gosh. No, I think Bradley could live also. Oh, there we go. It's coming.
It's coming.
No anti-air.
But a lot of HP.
Look at the bombs drop.
1, 2.
Full damage.
And that's it. Reality check does get the win.
Holy.
So exactly lesson learned. If you are going for that cheese, okay, I can do the same. I can make it better as long as I have a better defense setup already.
Oh my gosh. Bradley, he started the heavy bomber strat, the cheese strat first, and reality check was able to react in that he wasn't, kind of out of focus. He was able to stay intact, make 5 anti-airs, don't allow the bombers to drop the full amount of bombs. I think one or twice we saw Bradley's plane only drop 2 bombs because it got destroyed. So
Yes.
it wasn't able to do full damage. But not having any anti-air, reality check, I think he only sent 2 in the early game when he was retaliating, and it did so much damage.
What what the opponent actually tried to do, Bradley tried to do with those 4 big units in the air, just going straight to the base. I think it was, if it worked 100% all together, it is supposed to finish the game or be really close to it for an extra base attack the $30 base attack to basically just finish the game just like that. But great anti-air units and all the small plane, the Thunderbolts, working against it. And reality said, okay, that's a pretty cool strategy. Let me make it better.
Let me make it better. I have 5 anti-airs, so now you can't attack me with that. And the base artillery, I think it's $28. I think roughly $28.
Expensive one.
Yeah, the super expensive one. That is weaker than the heavy bombers. So I got some HP down from your initial attack, but now I have 5 anti-airs, so you can only base artillery me, which is weaker.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna counterattack you, and unless you have any anti-airs made, basically I can send less heavy bombers and still win, and that's what he did.
Yeah, that's right. The Flying Fortress cost a lot.
Yeah.
But if you can actually go straight into the base and do some damage like that every single time, you will win the game straight up. That's why you have to set up all those GMCs on the ground, not just the base air attack. And that was a pretty cool strategy in game. We thought, okay, we're seeing some artillery set up. This is going to be a good amount of control. But what's up with the ground control? Ground control does not really matter at all if you're just going to finish the game with all the air units.
Yeah.
So there's difference in strategy. We're seeing some really cool things, making the game really fun to watch as well. So that was the winners match. I think we are about to get into the final match before we go into the finals. With reality, we'll move on to the final match with that win.
Yep. So now, since we have the winner of the losers and the loser of the winners, I think we will be seeing a rematch. Bradley versus Ninja once again. The 50-minute game. Celebrities are back.
But it will be on a different map, though.
Yeah, of course. It will be a map of 2 lanes.
8-Bit Ninja versus SadlyItsBradley. The winner will move on to the grand finals and face reality check. The map is Hill 512.
And we are back. Ninja will go back to his old school or his first round German Infantry Gallons Division, and we will see Bradley going a little differently. He's going the U.S. Airborne this time around. We'll see what Bradley decides to do. And you see the towers. We have 4 towers, which means we have 2 lanes. However, we have 2 main lanes, but in the middle of that, there is a small hidden narrow corridor, the flank road that you see right now, that X.
Oh, yes.
So that no troops will go through there, but that's also another way for you to kind of go across the map and go straight to the base.
So there are a few ways to work around. Because all the spawn units will just go all the way around left and right.
Yep.
You have this great amount of space in the center to control. When you're seeing this many planes flying in and out, it's sometimes really good to just have the anti-air set up in the middle, just 1, 2, or 3.
Yep. There we go.
I think Bradley got it with the Jeep. That's going down with the attack. 2 attacks from the 8-bit Ninja. With the motorbikes, he still has 2 up there.
Yeah, so basically this map, if you guys just noticed when the match started, you guys kind of got the overview.
I think Bradley's taking another similar strategy. Stacking up all those, I think the reason why we're not seeing too many troops is that because Bradley spent all the money to unlock for the later units. There's that first anti-air. There are lots of planes in the air.
Yeah, we have 5 from Ninja. And everything else from Bradley, like you said, he's been unlocking. He's just produced the anti-air. But like I was trying to say before, this map, the terrain, it doesn't have too much uphill, downhill, and too much cliffs. So we're not going to be seeing a lot of artillery. We're supposed to be seeing a lot of air units, which is why Ninja has 5. And Bradley, instead of producing it to counter, rather to match Ninja, he's just going to be producing his anti-airs and be unlocking, like you said.
Might just be a similar strategy coming out from Bradley once again. Does have a lot of Thunderbolts, 4 of them. With the anti-air, should be able to beat the 5 fighters from 8-bit Ninja. Of course, it does come down to the control a lot. And we see a lot of loops here, just in case they have to fight one against each other.
Yeah, right now, Bradley's sticking. He was staying with $30 for a little bit of time. That's basically, at the end of the game, you see wasted money. So you're full at $30, and if you don't use it, it's basically you're leaking money. You're basically wasting money, and you don't want to do that. I'm pretty sure, but Bradley did produce that crazy unit. He made, like you said,
it's the fighter plane, and can take down multiple of the small ones. It's expensive, but it is not as tanky as the one we saw last time, like the Bomber Heavy.
Oh gosh.
But when you are taking down all the small ones, the small fighter planes, the BF on the other side, you can get multiple with just that one unit. That's exactly why it's expensive. But you do have to be careful because its HP is pretty low against a few or 2 or 3 BF at the same time. Can be painful. You can actually lose without taking even 1.
Don't want to do that.
And that's why Ninja's just looping them around, just making sure that they don't really fall apart, so that Bradley can directly snipe onto all of them.
Oh, but look at this. You just saw Bradley's hand making a rally point close to Ninja's base. I think he's sending something. We'll see. But look at this. Bradley, he is stacking up those planes in his base, but in the meantime, he's still doing some attacks in the front, causing a little bit of trouble for Ninja. Look at his tower HP on one of the lanes.
Yeah, Ninja, he's not going to change. He will be the same Ninja with that tank destroyer.
Yep.
Yeah, here comes the troop plane. And getting some extra value here, as they will stack overall with the parachute. You will see them come down from time to time.
Alright. Oh, we hear it.
We hear the bell.
Base artillery going to 8-bits. This time, Bradley is just going straight for opening up the entrance on the side of Ninja. He just attacked the towers on one of the lanes.
Yeah, because Bradley is setting up a lot more troops on the backside.
Yep.
He doesn't really want to go for the cheese strategy that he did before. It's more about the pressure in the lane that he wants to do. Getting rid of at least 1 tower will be good. But these tank destroyers, not from the side, from straight up, we'll take a lot of those ground units.
Yeah, and you see the parachutes on the bottom left. That is actually from the troop planes. They are dropping. They continue to drop. The numbers aren't dwindling. They just keep dropping.
Yeah, look at that, 24.
Oh my gosh. He's in for a treat. Ninja is going to have to maybe produce a couple artilleries to get rid of all those troops.
Yeah, both players really focusing on the defense on their own base side first. And stacking up a few. Don't really see the fighter plane coming out too far from Bradley, but he is surely stacking up those expensive ones. No artillery yet, but Ninja's slowly pushing out with all the anti-air together.
Yeah, but look at this. Bradley has 3 troop planes now. That's going to just be producing massive amounts. Look at that. He just has it going around in front of his base. 3 of them. He has to get rid of that somehow. But, like I said, 8-bit Ninja, he has the tanks, he has the heavy tanks. However, he wants some artillery to get rid of the small foot soldiers, because foot soldiers with the tank destroyers, it takes a little bit longer. So you want either the heavy tanks that he has right now up in the front, 3 of them doing a great job destroying the small foot soldiers right now coming from Bradley.
And the troop plane will keep on dropping. So Ninja's got to use all his tanks. And that's exactly when the big fighter plane comes to destroy the tanks. Good setup by Bradley. Bradley is really reading the next move and really leading the game in his own gameplay. But all the fighter plane does go down. Troops will stack over time.
Yeah, 3 troop planes and 8 troop trucks. That's just insane. Bradley this time, he doesn't want to do he doesn't want to control. He just wants the AI to just keep mass producing. 8-bit Ninja, on the other hand, has 8 planes flying around and 2 anti-airs just in case for any cheese coming from Bradley. We'll see how this goes, but if this prolongs, if this goes longer and longer, I think Ninja will have it because of the heavy tanks in the front, tank destroyers, and if he decides to produce a couple of artilleries in the back for support, I think that can just literally just get rid of all of Bradley's troops.
That is certainly true. And that's the reason, exactly the reason why Ninja's setting up a few of those small tanks just to get the pressure relieved from those troops. The troop airplanes always deploying more and more, stacking up all together.
Ooh. All right, Ninja read that a little bit. Well, actually, not a little bit. He read it quite well. He was able to save all his tanks this time.
To take some damage, but I think that was a great micro there, just moving everything out of the way, making sure that the tanks are following up with the anti-air. A little. Yes, okay.
Yeah,
exactly
you gotta bring that back. Yeah.
And you also want to spread your anti-air a little towards the other side, so just so that it doesn't really get bombed by just one thing together. Exactly, then just spreading the units out. Well done.
There we go. Yeah, you definitely need the heavy tanks in the front. We don't necessarily need the tank destroyers to go up against the foot soldiers unless you're trying to counter this attack coming from the other side. So now I think Ninja should be pulling back the tank destroyers, at least leave the heavy tanks here in the front, but the tank destroyers should go to the other side.
See how many tank destroyers. So 3, and he has 3 on the field. That's everything. But
Oh,
Bradley
this
has,
one.
it looks like it's a lot.
Ooh.
But those are a lot of cheap units, so I don't think it's going to really break through into the base, but certainly doing some damage to the towers.
All right.
Yeah, those were a lot, but it was a lot of cheap units gathered up together.
There we go. We do have the heavy tanks just tanking everything and destroying. He is pulling back though. He's trying to pull back. A lot of damage. The support units did come through. It's been 10 minutes, and Ninja has taking so much damage onto his tower, even though he's the one doing the attack.
Only takes this one game in order to go into the grand finals. Tank destroyer really working hard, and right now for Bradley, he has to bring out the air units to destroy that tank. But the problem is Ninja setting up a good pair with the anti-air GMC.
Yeah, you just saw the anti-air just run into the troops and get exploded. But yeah, Ninja does have the 7 fighter planes in the air. Bradley continuing with the mass production of units You see the 4 troop planes and 9 troop trucks still alive and well, just keeping the pressure on. Ninja is trying to break through the massive amount of infantry units on the ground.
Bradley getting that 4th. Lane pressure is real, but as long as Ninja's having at least few tanks, especially that tank destroyer to destroy all of them, going to be okay. Also setting up. Does that entire Warbell win? I guess it has some HP left. It seems like it has like only 1 or 0.2 HP left on it.
It should be on fire. But yeah, there we go. We do see the anti-air from Bradley going into action because Ninja had like 7 to 8 fighter planes going around, roaming around in the air. But look at this. Finally, Ninja learns he is producing the heavy tanks to go up in the front. They do area damage, unlike the tank destroyer. Tank destroyer only focuses one big heavy shot onto the tank or even on the infantry.
Yeah, lots of Panzers. Also, follow up with the anti-air. It's good control, and Bradley spends a lot of money, but that's the way of defending instead of having all the troops together, because it does take travel time to go all the way out from your base. Just have one big attack from your own base. Seems like it was almost required.
Even with all the tanks to defend just one lane, Ninja is getting pressured on the other because Bradley is just mass producing on both lanes. And you know, when you're Bradley, after he just kind of committed into the planes and the troop planes and the troop trucks, he just has to wait for that. He doesn't need to spend extra money to produce the troops. Whereas Ninja, if your tank dies, you have to spend money. You have to constantly be spending money, and that's why Bradley's towers are the ones that actually took more damage. And I think that one was taken by Bradley once again.
Yep, having that Jeep just go all the way. It moves so fast. It's basically for your own to get all that money. Moves really fast, can do some damage, but not major damage.
There we go. Bradley finally knows what he's doing. He got the 2 artilleries in the back. You just saw.
Just in range.
Exactly. That's going to keep that lane safe for now. But look at all the units that are coming from Bradley.
Yeah, but the tanks are there. Just have to control the anti-air out of there though. Artillery getting in range. Ninja not really controlling too much space. Yeah, the base anti-air, as long as that goes down, maybe Bradley can really bring in the planes and start attacking into the base.
Yeah, so right now, Ninja, these 2 anti-airs, yeah, they're keeping out the troop units. They're unable to reach all the way to where Bradley's artillery is doing damage, but you know, this is still good defense. This will keep everybody at bay for now, at least on this side, because right now Ninja has taken too much damage on his towers. He doesn't want that gate to open up.
It's not just we're watching this side. Of course, Ninja's doing an okay job, but the other side has a lot more pressure, and that's why Ninja has to think about a lot more, lots of different things together. And troops moved all the way far, not really. Ooh, catching a lot on fire.
Ooh.
That was at least 1-2 troops plus the artillery there.
Yeah, lost artillery. I think it got 3 big units. We saw the fire go up. And look at this. Now, after that, getting rid of the anti-airs, Bradley is able to pressure the lane that he wanted to. All this troop coming through with that 1 artillery in the back for backup.
Ninja wants to push these out. And the tank destroyer right now, it's powerful and it does damage against all these soldiers just coming through. But what he's got to do is focus on his own defense first. It's coming! Base taking the damage.
Oh, they're in. They are in. Ninja does have the fighter planes, but they're not attacking. You see 3 of them on the top left screen just now, just roaming the air, doing nothing. His base is getting attacked.
But Bradley's taking them down with the anti-air, bringing it to right next to the base. Bradley know this is surely going to be the win, and he will be very likely and surely the one moving into the grand finals.
I never doubted
Wow.
it for a second. They have destroyed
Right.
the enemy forces.
Bradley,
What a match here.
gosh, that was crazy.
This player's got a style. He's got some strategy. Okay, he has the next set of moves already planned out before he goes into the game. Okay, this is what I want to do. I want to keep the pressure with the troops first. Exactly. Having that high level of understanding about the characters and the combinations of the shopping list that you have with the money. So Bradley, instead of going for that real big cheese like the last time,
Yeah.
instead he actually planned this one out. And having this many strategies, it just proves that the amount of practice that he did, it's really showing on stage here.
Yeah, he definitely is showing different styles of play here. Cheese, regular troop units, massive units, tank controls. So right now, he's played 3 games and he's shown us 3 different styles of play in this game. And that just shows the amount of time that he has put into this game. Not saying that the other players didn't. The other players were able to retaliate. And, you know, Bradley actually was beat once throughout today's games, and you know that just proves that all these players here today have just prepared so much. It's just Bradley's strats, I guess, kind of worked better on his opponents every other round.
Oh yes, and with that, we are going to have the grand finals. But before we go into our final match, we will take a short break. We will be back. WCG VR Championship with Final Assault. It's been a very fun day for both of us, and we are ready for that grand final match. Of course, by moving from the winners round, Reality, the final match will be a best of 3, but Reality will start off with a score of 1 because the player moved from that winners from the winners match. Instead of taking the long way around from losers and then moving up there.
Yeah, so basically we're just giving Reality Check a little bit of a advantage, not because he's good or he has something in the back.
He is good.
He is good, yeah. So basically, for winning just 2 games in a row without a loss, going to the regional finals, he is starting with that +1 win. Whereas, Bradley, he had to come back. He had to lose once. He had to win once. So he just played the full double elimination bracket. So Bradley is on the backside, but we never know.
It is the grand finals for NA.
Yep.
Well, but 2 players, both of these players will actually move on to WCG Grand Finals in July because we're having 2 from each region, 2 from NA, 2 from EU, 2 from APAC, and also 2 from China. And both of these players are going to move out, but we have to find out who the real winner is.
Definitely. The real winner, Pride, and also, even though it's a regional stages right now, to go to the Grand Finals or to the WCG Finals in China, the prize money is also on the line. So yeah. So for me, being an esports player is important, but money is also important.
All right, it could just be one single match to decide it all, or it could be 2 games, 2 matches for the grand finals. I think we're just about ready to jump into the grand final match from the NA.
But all right, well, from seeing how Bradley has been playing, he could turn things around because these 2 players, they haven't played each other yet.
And the map, Wallenberg, as what you just saw on the screen, there are some hills and good bunk. But the opposite of bunker. Bunker usually goes down, but this is a bunker up on top, as you can see the map here. And usually you do want to set some anti-airs and the tanks so it could have the range of shooting at each other.
And sorry, I want to correct myself. They did play once, and Reality Check beat Bradley, sending him down to the losers bracket actually in the second game. So yeah, Reality Check already has 1 game basically in the past already having beat Bradley. We'll see how Bradley has prepared things for Reality Check.
And there's that sniper now. Bradley surely playing a lot of different characters. Lots of different combinations of sets. And he has a really cool way of finishing the game. Let's see.
Yeah, Bradley is on the US Armored character, whereas we see the Simmons division, the US Infantry division coming from Reality Check. So basically, the US Armored is basically very similar to the German Armored division. Just super heavy units that we are going to see here. We'll see what Bradley will decide to do, but already Bradley is pressuring Reality Check and gets 1 tower down within the first minute and a half.
These are the G's because there are shorter pathways around the lane where the spawn troops will go. Having a lot of small tanks just going straight forward, those Shermans.
Oh gosh.
And it's doing quite a lot of damage to the second tower as well. But the bazookas now will come, and that's what Reality Check was focusing a little more for the later part of the game into the future. But even the artillery, Bradley's got his range kept from that hill now.
Yeah, so the map that we saw the previous 2 players play before this didn't have any terrains, didn't have any cliffs. But now this map, we are back to the terrains, we are back to the hill and the cliffs. So artillery and the long-range units will definitely suffice. It will be needed to win the battles, and Bradley is taking advantage of that perfectly.
Yes, exactly. And that's the reason why the Jeep came out from Reality Check to get the fast defense. When Bradley takes 1 more control of that hill, and the reason why he's brought this character is because of that anti-tank, which is going to be super long range, really strong against all the tanks that Reality Check. Whenever Reality Check wants to have all his troops and the tanks up on the hill, Bradley is going to take it now with the anti-tank.
Exactly. The anti-tank is basically very similar to the tank destroyer that we've seen coming from the German armored side.
But once it sets up, its movement speed is really slow and its range is incredible. It's so long.
Yeah, so we'll see how Bradlley utilizes that anti-tank that he has produced. But reality check, either way, whether it be the anti-tank or not, he's already having trouble just getting out of his base. Bradlley just constantly pressuring him.
And all the units are starting to move out, slowly but maturely. Bradley's really focusing on the expensive units here.
2 anti-tanks already.
And also tank Calliope.
Ooh, look at that, doing a ton of damage here. This one is set up here perfectly as well. Bradlley has a solid defense coming through here.
And reality check is really focusing on all the high heal plays with the artillery. And of course, Bradlley is looking to take the same position, but he lost that first control by going really hard on the towers. So those were the trade in between the two players.
Yep, reality check this time around doesn't go for any troop trucks. He goes straight for 3 bazooka trucks and the heavy tanks. And Bradlley, like you said, focused too much and committed too much in the early game just to get that one tower down. And now he's being pushed back. He lost terrain control.
And he's trying to take it back. And we can
Yeah.
see that with even if reality check has no air units out there, Bradlley already has an anti-air. Anti-air along with his units. So he's having the combination set up first and then slowly moving out. So reality, let's see his response.
Oh gosh.
He's setting up a lot of troop units. Lots of bazookas.
Yeah, this tank Calliope is basically like the artillery Hummel coming from the German armored car. It's like basically super long range artillery, but that shoots like 5, 6 rockets at once instead of one. So it's super strong. So you want to keep that alive. And 5 tank destroyer on the side of Bradlley already.
Yeah, so basically what Bradlley is doing, making sure when he's open for one straight lane, he's taking control because of its range. Its range is too long. And reality check, I think it's a good idea to switch into the air a little bit, but towers are going down.
Look at that thing work.
Calliope has a lot of range. And the projectiles travel pretty fast enough so that it actually can do a crazy amount of damage. And that thing has been out on the field for as long as this game, ever since minute 1 or 2.
Already.
This reality, is he going to fall apart here?
Oh, it's actually reaching the bazooka trucks and the mortar trucks and it's destroying it. Oh, the massive amount of damage plus the range.
So all the setups are getting destroyed. That was the insurance that reality check had in this game.
The command center HP is going down once again.
The base is going low. Calliope locked onto it.
Oh my gosh.
And that, with the next setup attack, this may just be game.
Gosh.
That's it. Sadly, it's Bradlley comes back. We are tied 1-1 here. One single game away from being the NA champion. Ooh, what a game.
Wow.
I think
That was crazy.
we're seeing different levels of understanding from Bradlley, understanding the map and bringing the character that works the best. I think the practice is being shown on the stage, as I said before, once again. Bradlley changing up a lot of different strategies. Once air, bombing directly into the base.
Yeah.
This time really using the map of open space and long range lanes to have that control.
Yeah, exactly. And that Calliope plus the anti-tanks, because he knew that reality check wasn't producing any air units and not focusing on the air units. So he did have like 1 or 2 anti-airs, but he stopped producing them. He's focused on getting rid of the big units so all of his other small units can get through, because he knew after destroying the 2 towers on the side, he was able to just rush through in and attack the command center right away.
Yeah, that's right. Reality had some he had some future plans of getting all the insurance, making sure he was saving a lot.
Yeah.
By putting down all the troops, making sure his lane is pressured. But Bradley didn't really let that happen. Okay, if you're going to spend that money to the future, I can actually win the lane and actually have a better setup with my anti-air combination with the anti-tank, plus the Calliope just doing straight up too much damage. So I think maybe with the second, because the map will actually be very effective against what you want to do.
Yeah.
Let's see what else that Bradley has ready for us. I'm excited about this player. Reality really caught himself in the trap.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I think because Reality beat Bradley in the second round in the winners match, where he sent Bradley down to the
The bomber plane.
Yeah, the bomber plane match. Yeah. So Bradley definitely thought of something to go and counter Reality's playstyle because he was so mad that he lost.
It's
He
totally
was-
totally possible. Bradley showed the flying fortress strategy first, but Reality had a better backup plan.
Yeah.
And a counter punch was
Yeah.
hit. That was the reason why Reality went into the winners round and the grand finals a little faster. But Bradley, he's ready for that. He's ready for it. Okay, you are a pretty good player, I admit. But I've got a lot more strategies, a lot more cards in my hand than you do. I think that has been shown already. Let's see. I think we're about to get the next match set up very soon. But excited to see what else that he has.
Yeah. I don't know, because for me, by this time, Bradley should be running out of ideas because, yeah, Reality Check did counter the bomber plane cheese that Bradley actually started first, but then he got sent to the losers bracket because of that. And now Bradley's mad. He's not gonna go full cheese, but he's gonna go different styles of play and different characters that people aren't used to seeing. And we've been seeing a lot of the similar units from Simmons division. We've seen a lot of German armored, German infantry. So a lot of players are playing the infantry either from US or Germany, but Bradley, he's just going all around.
So we are seeing the small planes like the Thunderbolts and the BF-109s. They're small, but if you have a lot of them, you can't really control them well. And if you spend that much time to focus on them, sometimes you'll be wasting money.
Yep.
Sometimes your anti-air will be straight up running into those soldiers and going down. So I think we're slightly moving away from the planes and really focusing on the ground a lot more, unless it's the bomber plane, which is a lot easier. You just send one around into the base. Does not really require a great amount of control.
Yeah. You just have to rally it and it'll go through. But like we have been seeing now, we are moving away from the planes and more stationary units like the anti-tanks, the artillery, and the backup fires that have the long-range units. In the first two games, we've seen a lot of troop trucks. We've seen a lot of bazooka trucks. But now, even in this game, we haven't seen any troop trucks. We saw the mortar trucks and the bomber trucks go down, but no troop trucks. So no more macro. We are going all about the terrain control, the zone control, and the air and the area control that we've been seeing coming from both Reality Check and Bradley.
Yeah, in terms of the combination and the setup before a player goes on for attack, Bradley had much better setup, being ready for the counter attack, which could be just airplanes in the air, and having those kind of GMC anti-air all the time. I think Bradley has a higher understanding compared to what Reality is actually trying to do here. So there could be a reverse sweep here with Bradley winning. I can totally see that happen. But for Reality, he just has to win just one single game. And that's all we're waiting for.
Yeah, definitely. And, for Reality Check, starting with that +1 win, he definitely wants to win. He wants that extra prize money. He wants to be the winner. He wants to get the pride of being #1 in the US regional. And this last game will conclude to see who is the best player. But up until now, even though Bradley had to go down to the losers and then come into the finals, him showing so many different styles of play is just telling me that he's such a great player that knows so much about the game.
Yes. Spending a lot more time on a game, of course, brings you experience, what's better on each map. I think Bradley really knows Reality is about to show something else really cool too. There can be a lot of different ones. And we haven't, one thing I actually thought maybe we're not going to see too many anti-tanks today, but
Yeah.
we just saw that on screen. Pretty cool strategy, of course. Depending on the character and the map, you got to select it well first of all. But we can also have some mirror matchups, which is due to what's good at on the map. Players can have same preference. It's totally possible. But we're gonna move away from the map. We're gonna have a different map for the final game.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get a new map. You guys saw it. I think it's going to be Operation Stronghold. We're gonna basically have 4 lanes here. We have 2 main lanes, and we have the 2 super far flanks out on the outskirts. So if that is the map that we're going into, I want to see how both of these players strategize, because they both know how to lane control. Yeah, we've seen that in the past games.
And the game is ready. The final game to decide the champion from DNA region for final assault. It's going to be Reality Check VR versus SadlyItsBradley. 1-1 tied, best of 3. This final game decides it all.
All right, we are in the game, and look at the number of towers. We have 8 towers here in play. On the left and the right, we have 4 towers each, basically. We have the 2 main lanes, like I said, and the 2 far out flanks, and even the flanks that have no troops going through will have towers there. And Reality Check starting with the troop trucks once again. They're going back to it. Bradlley responding with the troop trucks as well. Reality staying with Simmons Division, the infantry.
Going to be a different focus. As this one is a big, really gigantic map
Yeah.
with a lot of different things to look at. Of course, you can just control and turn the viewing angles easily on the controller, but you do have to move around a lot.
Yeah, Bradlley going back to the German side. The Luftwaffe, the air division, basically known for the air division, will still have that artillery that he's using. We're seeing that one artillery doing the damage to Reality Check's tower already. So that's gonna be a little bit of a problem, not a huge problem early game. We saw players lose 2-3 towers early game and still come out on top at the end of the game.
Yeah, that's totally possible. Some artillery being set up by both players. There's 1-1 each now. And the motorcycle jeeps, just to have them on that X mark. A great early start setup. Ooh, already artillery doing straight shots to the tower. No real defense is coming. Okay, there's an extra tank coming now.
The bomb troop saw that artillery and started shooting. But yeah, that artillery has been there doing that damage, but it's gonna blow up soon. You gotta pull it back, or not. It got destroyed. The heavy tank was there for defense, but I guess he was busy controlling other stuff. In the meantime, the artillery does go down.
Yeah, but that was still enough of a damage onto the tower. I think it was totally worth. When Reality is really focusing on the artillery of his own. And also bringing in some heavy air units. I think Bradlley might be just thinking about, okay, I'm just going to control the air. Reality didn't even bother making any anti-air units in the last game. So maybe I have a really good chance.
All right, we'll see. Bradlley doing, once again, producing the heavy tanks to defend that one artillery that he's sending out to the side lane here. We'll see how much damage that artillery can do once again.
I'm just ready for that fighter heavy to come out and destroy everything that's out there. But reality keeping his cheap troops first and making sure Bradley really go for that cheese. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get the tower. I will make sure that I get the towers first so I can actually directly go towards the base.
Reality Check starting to kind of build up its troops. He's kind of going back to the old style, the early rounds that we've seen. The troop trucks, he has all 3 down. 2 infantry, 2 bazookas, and 2 mortars now. So yeah, he's gonna go with the numbers here in the early game.
And also a few Sherman things just to push the lane a little further. And also was used to defend against the artillery. 4. Bradlley is really going to have that setup. Where is it going to focus though? There are lane pushes. mean, you can start with defending from your base side.
We do see 4 artillery already being created by Bradley.
But if you control the hilltop where the X mark is, where the motorbike is right now, you can get a lot. You can buy a lot of time and save a lot of money by defending that top hill. Oh, here comes the bomber medium is here from Bradley.
Is it gonna go? Did it go in?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Maybe onto the tower
yeah,
only?
I thought he was going for that side tower. I think, but it didn't take any damage, so I guess it did get taken down.
There was an anti-air,
Yeah.
plus the anti-air from the base, and also an extra plane on it. So I think that was just enough to defend it without taking real crucial damage.
All right, well, as it should be, this is the last game. This is the last game of the finals, so it is taking a little bit longer to kind of see which side has the more of an advantage. Right now, Bradley in front of his base. I mean, reality check in front of Bradley's base, actually, trying to think of a way to kind of get through here already.
A lot more lane pressure coming out from reality. Over time, it's going to stack, but what's important is that all the artillery from Sadly has been pushing out space into the map. That's a good catch. And reality trying for that similar strategy.
All right, well, we'll see.
And we're getting ready for that bomber heavy. Ooh, actually turns around.
No, that's his base. He's just gonna rally it, patrol it around his base. I think he wants to stack up a couple.
Yeah, maybe. I thought he was gonna go just straight into it because he also had a few other small Thunderbolts ready.
All right, we'll see. Bradley, he should be able to see that he's producing the bombers. So yeah, there we go. We do see 2 anti-airs.
And two anti-air coming out from Bradley. May not be enough against 2 bomber ones though. Those are pretty painful with a lot of HP.
Yeah, so right now for Bradley, I think unless he's gonna just go full on defense, just create a couple of anti-airs, and with the 4 artilleries that he has, he should somehow pressure and try to push and force reality check to not be able to keep producing the bombers rather than to try to defend his base, but he's just stationed his artilleries in his base for defense.
I think reality check has another way of really pushing this one into farther into the base. But there are lots of anti-air units.
Look at how many Thunderbolts Bradley is producing. He has 7 with 3 anti-airs now, so just 2 bombers is not going to be enough.
Yeah, they might just straight up go down from all those small fighter planes. It's hard to control all 7, but it can be painful if you can actually micro them pretty well. And on the ground, artillery mostly used as a defense.
Now reality check actually stationed a couple of artillery for himself to do some tower damage to Bradley. It's not going to be crucial, but this damage adds up. So Bradley definitely has to decide on doing something.
Bradley going in for some damage possible, and
He wanted to get rid of the bomber, but yeah, it's not
but
gonna.
got some damage.
Look at all the fighters defending it. It's not going to be easy.
This is going to be basically the win game strategy.
Yeah.
As Bradley's also getting ready for that. These anti-air, if these are taken out,
I think that was a nuke coming from Bradley. Ooh.
okay, just damaged a little bit, not too heavy.
He was able to kind of pull back a couple of units. Unfortunately, that nuke is not going to take those bombers down that are flying so high up in the air. Well, look at this. These artilleries, yeah, they're good. And they've been defending and providing Bradley with some time to stack up on units to counter those bombers. But if he doesn't pressure reality check at all and just allow reality check to prepare his one huge attack, I don't know, Bradley, it might go down.
Yeah, reality had almost the tower go down.
Yeah.
Bradley with just 1 artillery, but it was close. As you can see, the HP of one on the far right of Bradley's tower, but still, the big bomber heavies are surviving. Of course, their HP went down because of that missile. But with the right setup, I think he can do it.
All right, finally, Bradley decides he has enough units to go out. He's sending out his artillery. He's going to pressure Reality Check before he starts using his bombers, before he's done setting up. Reality Check has 4 anti-airs as well. He's making his way out. The heavy tanks in the front, the artillery's in the back. He is doing the pressuring. Bomber planes.
Maybe it's time. And one of the bomber plane actually went down.
Yeah.
And got an extra one now, but in that time, because he was spending so much in the air, Bradley focusing onto the tower, had a lot of these small ones.
Look at this, Bradley sending it in.
Is
He
it
saw the
time?
bomber come out. Now he's sending him out, and it does go down before it even passes the enemy line. Another one will go down.
Okay, just did some damage to the defending towers. That's about it, though.
Not good enough for spending so much money for preparing so much. Now he only has one left flying around his base.
And that's the reason why. Bradley has the fighter heavy ready against all those bombers. Bombers are slow. Fighter heavy is quick. It does a lot of damage to all the air units. So
Look at
Reality Check is in trouble now. His strategy is somewhat sealed.
Yeah, and the bomber plane strat, Bradley already knows that because he's the one who first did it on Reality Check, even though he was able to beat him out. But look at this bomber coming through, trying to get rid of the anti-air. I think it does.
Yeah,
Bradley.
got one of them out.
Yeah, Bradley is basically kind of answering, but this isn't like a cheese mode where, you know, early game they just go straight for the bomber. They're actually setting up for these attacks, getting rid of the anti-airs.
Yeah,
first.
11 minutes. Really showing some cool strategy from both players.
Yeah.
Reality is switching things up just a little bit. Have a lot of Shermans.
And a lot of mortar trucks, troop trucks as well. 19 mortars coming through, and 5 troop trucks, 4 mortars. So basically, he wants to just ram through and bulldoze through the ground. Look at all those airplanes.
Yeah, first Bradley picking up a lot of those BF-109s in the air and the anti-air just in case Reality Check does anything cheesy again. Let's see the focus. Reality Check moving out with those cheaper units.
Yeah. Bradley keeping his anti-airs in his base, just getting ready for Reality Check to come in. 3 artillery to defend his base. Bradley's base won't be getting through anytime soon. Reality Check stacking up as well. He's just waiting for Bradley's air units to come out with those anti-airs hidden. Oh, I think Bradley's sending it out.
Is it time?
I think it is. And those hidden tanks and anti-airs are right there, ready.
All the Shermans are gone. The anti-air didn't go down. And the anti-air is actually taking the big medium down. And that's it.
Up.
Okay, Reality Check did lose a few Shermans, but this evens out somewhat with the anti-air.
It definitely does, but this artillery being behind the walls is going to cause problems. Reality Check won't get through with just regular ground units, even though he has 20 mortars. I don't think, as of now, it will be.
Has 3 stacked
Yeah.
in Reality Check's base. I think he was getting ready to let them go all together. Maybe he wants to stack a little more. Ooh, the numbers on each side is getting big and big setups. A lot more pressures in the ground. And the air units, not yet from Reality Check, is coming.
But look at the numbers of the fighters, the fighter jets stacking up 6 now, just roaming around Bradley's base. He's just waiting for those bombers to come. So he patrolled them right in front. So when the bombers come, they can just automatically attack. I don't know what Reality has, like, he has to get through these planes first in order for the bombers to get through to the command center of Bradley.
Reality is waiting for the stack of ground units because
Yeah.
he has a lot of troops set up already. Big amount of numbers on the troops. The motor 6 in his base, and Bradley has no real room right now to actually have that big missile, which can destroy a lot in Reality Check's base. But that's a lot of money.
Oh my gosh, these are stacking. But right now, for in terms of Reality Check, he has to get rid of these artilleries first in order for his ground units, his infantry and the bombers and the mortars to get through, because no matter how many troop trucks he has in his base, he's going. Yeah, but as I was saying, no matter how much trucks he has, they're not going to get through those artillery and heavy tanks.
Okay, he's
on
got to grab
defense.
onto all of them, going straight into the base to the center.
There we go. He's dropping some early. It does
And the
land.
Base is
Oh!
taking damage. Maybe just enough, or is it not enough?
Oh my gosh, I think Reality Check saves some money. Does the base artillery attack, the $28 one?
Survive for another spin. Did it just go down? I think it did before Bradley.
Oh, there's one more. One more is coming. He produced one more.
If it's coming,
Full health.
great. It is coming from the other side. Bradley, can he defend it perfectly before it
Drop.
lands?
Oh.
He does. A lot of anti-airs and making sure that connects. So for the next
but-
set of units,
You hear that sound?
oh yes.
The base artillery.
Are we gonna get close? I think it can just be enough. And with that, that's going
Wow.
to be it. What a cool strategy. Having all those bomber planes, bomber flying fortresses basically stacked up. And that's Reality Check VR being the champion from the NA region.
Wow, that was an incredible game. I did not expect the bomber planes to work again, especially on these two, because Bradley and Reality Check already had their fair share of cheeses of their bomber planes, and they were, like I said before, they were kind of preparing before. They weren't cheesing. They were kind of setting up, getting rid of some anti-airs. They're getting rid of some towers, but still not creating enough anti-airs for the bombers was a mistake on Bradley's side here.
I think Bradley actually spread out the entire GMCs onto left and right. That's
Yeah.
the exact reason why Reality just went straight into the center. And not just that, not just the bomber flying fortresses. Of course, they're big. They can take a lot of damage, but had a lot of thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Basically tanking so that the bomber actually connects a few more shots into the base. That was a big all-in, lots of money spent. But if you can win a game like that, as long as you defend, okay, losing few towers, stacking all those up for the last 10 minutes plus, and then just having one big bomb, that's
Yeah.
exactly what brings you the game.
Yeah, exactly. And, they have been showing us those cool strats where, all in one or nothing, We saw that early on. In this game, we kind of saw it similarly. We saw the big, huge damage coming through. And in the second and the third game, we've seen some small chip damages, small poke damages winning the game as well from the troops on the ground. So today, I think we've got to see all different kinds of styles of play that you can do here.
We have the result from the NA qualifiers. Match 1-2 through the winners match, losers match, and the grand finals between Reality Check VR and SadlyItsBradley. Even though SadlyItsBradley came back a game to tie things up 1-1, Reality Check came back strong. Is going to take the first place, but Bradley also makes it because we have two players from
Yep.
NA moving up. And what an incredible day with Final Assault. It's a great game, as you guys can see what you can do in different ways.
Yeah, and the name SadlyItsBradley kind of, it's funny because sadly, it's Bradley who is in second.
Okay,
Not in first.
maybe it did hint. And names are very important. That's why the reasons why it takes a long time to when you make an ID.
Oh, yeah.
It's always important. But still moves on. What a great game we had. The first one. We also have very soon we have the EU qualifiers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the APAC coming for you guys very soon too. So stay tuned. As you can actually try this game. You can just buy this game on Steam. Use Vive, Rift, Windows VR, and also on Oculus Store.
Yep.
So lots of different ways for you to actually enjoy this game. Just if you have a friend with a VR, go ahead and just log into Steam and get this game and try it. It's actually hours of fun without you noticing.
Yeah,
it
you
just
all-
passes by.
Yeah, you're in a different world. You know, like we said, we played it. It's amazing. I didn't know the times go by. Except for me personally, my legs hurt a little bit because I was standing and like doing all this. Like other friends that played it said their hands hurt or their backs or whatever. But for me, my legs hurt a lot.
Yeah, but that's it. But still, a great game. Go ahead and try Final Assault. That was it for NA qualifiers only. We have EU and also APAC coming around. In EU's actually coming around 10 hours.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to keep watching what's happening from the other region, you can actually just keep staying on the channel or come back at the right time. But for NA qualifiers, that's it. Thanks for watching WCG VR Championship Final Assault from NA qualifiers.